I know homeowners love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.248, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hey, Gregs, do you do hits like this on other stations? If not, who would speak about the Oilers and other markets radio hits from Whaler? Yeah, I do. And a few other guys do as well. But yeah, it's one of those kind of pro bono things. They come on your show, you go on their show when it's the right time to do it. So yeah, I actually did the sheet today with Merrick. So earlier before we came on the show. So yeah, happens. There's a few guys like that exchange. You do my show, I do your show, kind of thing. So works out. Let's talk a little baseball. Of course, not only the All-Star game in Major Leagues of Baseball, but also for the Edmonton Riverhawks, as this is All-Star Week. Their All-Star game, of course, goes tomorrow night as we get to our baseball report brought by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer. LegacyHeating.ca. Jake Lalandford, the manager of the Riverhawks, joins us once again. Jake, welcome back to the show.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm excellent. So I want to go through the we'll get to your team in a second, but some big news as 2 of your players were recently drafted. You had Jack Gurovich, who was drafted in the 3rd round by the Cardinals, and then you had the Reds taking Carson Latimer in the 12th round. Did you get the pleasure of telling them? Does the team contact them? How'd that work?
No, they kind of hear first through the organization when they're going to get drafted. So they have those kind of talks with their advisors, and then obviously they get the call from the organization when they're at the time of the draft, and obviously they're ecstatic. So Gurovich actually played for us 4 years ago, so he was a previous player of ours, but that was the highest draft pick we've ever had, 3rd round, 89th overall. And then Carson Latimer went in the 12th round, and then our shortstop actually got drafted in the 19th round as well. So we had two guys on the team right now, Latimer and Robbie Phelps, and then one previous player. So I'm super excited for those young men, great guys, class acts, and we're excited to watch them kind of as they go into their pro ball careers now.
Now, will they be finishing the season with you?
In the next couple of days when they finish and sign after their physicals. So big hit for us, obviously, but with kind of what we're trying to do with player development and get guys to the next stage, that's the best news we can receive, and we'll be all right in the meantime.
So yeah, who's going to fill in? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, Latimer was a starter for us, and he was here for about 3.5 weeks. We already had a couple guys on this road trip step up into starting roles, and we found some productivity out of them and went 4-2 in this last road trip. So he had his last start in Bellingham, and as we move forward, we've got a lot of really strong infielders, a couple guys that can shift over to the shortstop area. So, yeah, they're just incredible players, and it's going to be tough to fill those holes, but we're excited to give other guys opportunities to do so.
We're into the second half of the season. It's 14-12. But now the second half is on, and you're off to a good start, 6-3. Only Victoria has a better record than you in the North Division. You guys had a great start, Jake. Then you kind of hit the skids for a little bit. Then you kind of got it back on track. Kind of talk about a little bit of an up and down year for you.
Yeah, I think we get a couple road trips there. I feel like when we're at home, the guys are spoiled, and we play so well in front of these crowds, and they definitely rise to the occasion. I mean, Canada, we had 9,200, and we did a great job taking care of business. We always have at home. Some of these road trips, when it's not really the same, you go to Port Angeles, you play in front of 150, 200 people. It could definitely drop down the way that we handle kind of adversity and how we play. But yeah, the overall record, I think we're at 20-15 right now. We're sitting at third place, and that's kind of the key. The front half or back half clinchers are great. We obviously aim to do so. But if you can just ride it out the whole season like we did last year and get in with the overall at we were 32 and 22 last year, I believe. That's kind of the key. So we want to be consistent. We gave away some games in the front half where bullpen, we really needed them to kind of step up, and they've been doing so. And I think that's a key to it. If our bullpen and pitchers can keep us in games, we've had great offense since day one. So that's looking to be the key moving forward for us in the end of this back half.
This is really kind of the only break of the year, right? The All-Star break. You have 4 players going, and they're obviously excited to go to the All-Star game for sure. But for your team, you had Monday off, you have today off, the All-Star game's tomorrow for those 4, and then you have Thursday off. For the rest of your team, how important was it? Did you see were guys getting a little fatigued? Is this 4 days going to do a lot of wonders for your sport?
Yeah, I think it will. And we play this weekend with Kamloops coming here, I think it'll be really big for us. It's just a tiring pro schedule that a lot of these young guys aren't used to. It's every day 9 innings for our position guys. You're used to playing 3 or 4 games on the weekend, double headers, and then you have 4 or 5 days to prep and reset for the next weekend. And we are seeing it kind of. We've had some injuries come up as of late, and we're trying to get guys healthy, use this week to our advantage. And it's nice to be back home next weekend, and then we get out again. But it's different. It's just a big change for these guys, and we're trying to give that pro aspect for the guys that are taking the next step and getting to go play in the minor leagues and do that every day for a living. This is definitely a good test for it. So, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the 4 guys that are going to the All-Star game tomorrow. We got Max Stagg, Trent Lenahan, Robert Phelps, and Jason Green. Stagg's your DH, and man, he's had a great year at the plate. Yeah,
Stagg, he's an outfielder, but he's had a couple. He just overuse injuries at Central Arizona, so he's trying to get that arm back. And in Bellingham before the All-Star break here, he did get back in the outfield. So I don't think anybody likes the title of the natural DH. It doesn't mean you can play anywhere, and he definitely isn't. So, to make an impact the way he has in 25 games that he DH'd in a row or something like that is incredible. It means you're an elite hitter, and I think he's a guy we're going to see be a pro-style player in the next couple of years. But yeah, his impact has been incredible. He plays the game it's tenacious. He's a gamer. He's a competitor. He wants to beat you, and he wants to beat you bad. And him being Australian is very cool too. I know the fans have loved that, and having him up here has been a treat. And unbelievably humble young man who just works his tail off. So getting him more in the outfield will be nice. It'll let a couple other guys DH too, so we're not just eating it up. But for his role that he's had, he's done an incredible job on the front half.
And what about big Trent Lenahan, huge guy out of University?
Yeah, Lenny's just an incredible baseball player on both sides of it. He's been 2-time, I think, Gold Glover at University of British Columbia. Big first baseman. He impacts the game both ways. His bat's incredible. I think he's up there 30 RBIs, top of up there with the league leaders. Last year, I think he hit 295 going in the All-Star break, and I thought he got snubbed. So really excited to watch him get out there and experience that. And with him, he's a pro-style guy. I was surprised. We had Johnny McGill signed from UBC. He played the last 2 years as an NDFA yesterday. But I thought Lenny would get those kind of similar looks, but we'll see as the week progresses here. But can't say enough good things. And just the captaincy role, he's just been that guy for the last 2 years, and he is out there at UBC. And we're spoiled with those guys that played there. We know what we're going to get. They're all great character kids, and they just help us win ball games.
And then Robert Phelps and Jason Green, the final 2 guys to make the score.
Yeah, so Robbie can't play in the All-Star game now since the Phillies but that's got to be the best glove I've seen come through Edmonton in my 4 years here. He's an incredible shortstop. I think we broke our single game stolen base record with 5 against the Nanaimo 2 weeks ago. So he's just got a bunch of all these tools that impact the game in any way. He hit leadoff for us 25 straight games. So Robbie's incredible, and he just kind of bet on himself. Never played summer ball before. Got up here to Edmonton, and now he's playing in the minors in a couple weeks, which is amazing to see. And then Greeny's unique because he's a big guy. He's a 6'5" catcher, and he's got a hose on him. He's got a great arm. He hits. I think he's at 6 home runs already. We'll see if he kind of makes that mark towards the single season home run record here in Edmonton. I want to say Brett Thauer had 8 or 9 in year 1, so he's going to be flirting with it. But big dude, doesn't run the bases very well. We bug him all the time. So does a great job moving behind the dish, not so much on the base pass, but incredible baseball player. He's a sophomore, and same thing. Hopefully in the next couple of years we see him get some pro looks and move on to the next stage of his career.
Well, 6'5". There's not many catchers that are that big.
No,
I can tell you that.
exactly.
So, yeah. Were you surprised, Jake, at all? Did any of your pitchers get snubbed for the All-Star game?
So it was a tricky situation because 2 of the 3 guys are shut down on the back half here. They're not going to be playing. So I know Tanner Leba and James Brock were the 2 big considerations they had, and I think they would have got the nod if they could have made the All-Star game and whatnot. Both of those guys are incredible for us. The Latimer one was a little surprising just because I think he was an inning short of 20 innings, which is their league min. So he had a sub-1 ERA and obviously throws the ball 99 miles an hour. So we obviously had those caliber pitchers, and that's why our record has been as strong as it has. And sometimes the selections you take them with a grain of salt. But our staff has done a great job this year. And
Jake, I don't know if you can answer this or not, but how does the All-Star host? Would you guys put in? Because obviously you draw great fans here. It would seem like this would be an ideal place.
Yeah, I think we have put in a bid to host, and I'm not too sure where they're at with it in moving years future. I think the biggest concern is that we're just so far from everyone else, but you're also only flying up your All-Stars. It's not a whole team scenario. So I know some guys have passport problems in the Washington, Oregon teams that limit them from even coming up here to playing games or working on getting their passports. So I'm not too sure, where they're at in the future. But that would be the dream. We obviously have the crowd for it, the facility for it, and it would be incredible to host the All-Star game up here.
Well, enjoy a few days off for you, and I know you'll be watching your players in the All-Star game tomorrow, and then get back at it on Friday and have a great final part of the second half of the season, and hopefully a push to get to the
Awesome.
playoffs.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me on.
You betcha. That is the manager of the Riverhawks, Jake Lanfordin, and I know many of you love going to the games. They'll be back at home on Friday. Usually it's home a week, then away, then home. Because it's the All-Star break week. Usually they'd be playing tonight, Wednesday, and Thursday, but it is the All-Star break. They'll be back against Kamloops on Friday. Then they're on the road again for 6 games, and then at home for 6, and then they wrap up the season in Victoria in the first week of August. And playoffs are scheduled to start on Friday, the 8th of August, and they're right in the mix. They're right in the mix. If they can get in, if you look at it in the overall, they're right behind Victoria at a half a game in the overall. So even if they don't, if Victoria wins the second half, no, they can't, because Bellingham had won the first. So they're going to have to catch Victoria. That's going to be the battle. And I mentioned, you look at their schedule, their final 3 games of the year are against Victoria. So that might come down to the playoffs then, which would be very exciting. We'll come back. TR will join us. We got more text, some of you with your ideas on All-Star games. Would you want the draft or the All-Star game? I'll say this. It's pretty much 50-50. I'm a little surprised. I honestly thought there would be one that would be a lot more ahead, but no, many of you are either fans of the draft or fans of the Oilers having the All-Star game in Edmonton. And as I mentioned, I think when all of the area around the facility is complete, then the Oilers will put in a bid, and you'll likely see them because they haven't had the draft here since Terry Ryan got drafted in 1995, and the All-Star game was here in 89. Has it been here since? Jeez, I don't think so. So yeah, they're due to say the least. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, your one-stop shop for sports, live dealer, lottery, instance casino, you name it, they have it. PlayAlberta.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Joe Thornton officially rejoined the San Jose Sharks as a player development coach and hockey operations advisor. Thornton has stayed with the Sharks in recent season, but was not a part of the team in any official capacity. His hiring comes just a month after he was named to the 2025 Hockey Hall of Fame class. Edmonton Oil Kings forward Miroslav Hlinka signed his 3-year entry-level deal with the Maple Leafs today. Originally selected by the club in the 5th round of the 2024 draft. Last season, he had 19 goals in 47 games played. Major League Baseball's Midsummer Classic goes tonight from Atlanta. First pitch set for just after 6 o'clock. The NFL leveled the New York Jets, signing quarterback Sauce Gardner to a 4-year, $120.4 million deal. The deal makes a 24-year-old the highest paid corner in the NFL. He's been an all-pro in his first 2 seasons, also 2022 Defensive Rookie of the Year. He appeared in 15 games last season, and the Kansas City Chiefs reached an agreement with right guard Trey Smith on a 4-year extension worth $94 million, making him the highest paid interior lineman in league history. Also includes $70 million guaranteed. In the WNBA tonight, you got 2 games. Boston taking on the Sun at 6, and at 8, the Sparks taking on the Mystics. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host Terry Ryan and Tyler Urumchuk from Oilers Nation. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, Stingray radio station, broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of every
afternoon. How are you? And welcome
of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore
Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 14
style with Mr. Dirk. The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back.
Welcome back.
If you're looking for the
Jason
cherry on
Gregor,
top
Connor
of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Want some good news? St. Albert Dodge is holding the biggest sale of the year on their in-stock Ram 1500 Sports. Every single one on the lot is discounted by a whopping $14,000. Yeah, 14 grand. And St. Albert Dodge has the best selection in Alberta. Over 90 Ram 1500 Sports to choose from with great packages, including the Night Edition and GT models, all $14,000 off the ticket price. Get down there and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. Learn more. Call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
The job is done until the last load is hauled, and having the semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Ready for a career that's literally golden? B2 Gold just poured their first gold bar at the new mine in Nunavut, and you can be part of the foundation. They have 25 open roles for experienced mill operators on a fly-in, fly-out, 3-week on, 3-week off rotation. Start with a base salary of $110,000 to $130,000 with all travel and benefits paid. These roles need to be filled now. Come to the Terrace Office Tower on July 17th and 18th. Email Edmonton Job Fair at b2gold.com to book an appointment. Bring your resume, references, and safety tickets.
You look at a pipe, you just see a pipe. But at GS Construction, we know it's not just a pipe. It's the future water flowing to a growing family's home, or the sewer line for a new school. At GS Construction, we know every trench we dig connects people to what matters. And if you'd like to be part of that vision of making a better future, we're hiring. Right now, GS Construction is looking for experienced foremen to join our team. So apply today at gsconstruction.ca. GS Construction, underground with purpose.
Hey, Canada. Set a reminder and get ready for Tim Hortons Camp Day on Wednesday, July 16th. Buy a coffee, a Camp Day bracelet, or donate on the Tim's app to help build a better future for Canadian youth at participating restaurants in Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock. How are you? It's Tuesday afternoon, as it's All-Star Game day in the Major Leagues of Baseball. You have an All-Star Game tomorrow for the Riverhawks. You also have the Stingers continue to be on the road. Elks in another bye week, which is kind of wild when you consider that this is 2 bye weeks in 6 weeks for them. Kind of crazy a little bit, but that's how it goes. The Stingers won again, if you missed it on the last Friday, 81-75, and they are back in action on Thursday as they take on the Blackjacks, and then on Sunday in Vancouver, and that could be a huge first place battle. Actually, they play them 2 out of 3 game stretch from July 20th to August 1st, and Vancouver's obviously very good at 13-4. The Stingers at 10-6. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code SUMMER100 with a $20 deposit. You will get a $100 free play at PlayAlberta.ca in casino. As we welcome to the show, we were talking about NHL drafts, and of course, the gentleman who was drafted right here in Edmonton many moons ago, 8th overall by the Montreal Canadiens. Terry Ryan joins us. TR, how you doing?
Doing all right. Thanks for the Beatles lead-in music, Connor, because I just clued up some Paul McCartney tickets in Montreal November 17th for me and my daughter. I can't believe I'm still saying that. Given that he's 83, I know he's old, but a Beatles concert is a vibe, and I just want her to see it while we can.
Ooh. Like, what would be, like, if there was any concert you could go to, like, what's your top 2 or 3 people that you haven't seen that you really want to see?
Yeah, that's a great question. Who I haven't?
Yes.
Boy, Eminem.
Ooh, good one.
Would be one. I haven't seen the Stones. I know they're older, right? I get that. But if you look at the concerts recently, it still sounds like McCartney, and I think it'd just be an iconic thing to see either. I've now seen Paul McCartney 30 years ago. Who else I've seen? AC/DC. Trying to think. It would escape me. I went to see Green Day last year. God, I've seen pretty much everybody I want to, knock on wood. I mean, acts that are passed on. I mean, if you ask me, I'd love to go back and see Frank Sinatra. Of course, it can't happen. I would have liked to see Chuck Berry. That would have been.
Oh God, yes, yeah, that would be.
So most if I can now, I'll get to. I'll make sure to go see him. There's a new, not a new, but the country artist Charlie Crockett, and I've missed him a few times. I'm looking at seeing him. He's playing in the New England area in the fall. I might go down and see that.
All right. Of all the concerts you've seen, TR, what was your favorite show and why?
Oh, great question. I really enjoyed U2 in Denver. I was playing in Colorado Springs, and I got called up to Hershey, which were the Avalanche's farm team. And so I hooked some tickets when I went back down to Colorado, and playing in Colorado Springs. And some of the guys hooked me up, and that was great. We were inside that ring, when they did that tour about 25 years ago now, I guess. And we were really close, put it that way. And it was you too. I saw Paul Simon in a little bar. He went and did this special VIP kind of tour. That was pretty special. Seeing Paul Simon, I'd say there was 50 people there. So that was pretty wild. Springsteen would be another one. And the most energy was right close to the front in AC/DC. That was pretty wild. Metallica, all of them, Green Day, I've seen them all. But yeah, that was pretty wild. AC/DC about 15 years ago, around 2010, and it was quite the spectacle. I think they pretty much lost it now. I'm glad I saw them when I did.
Yeah. All right. Did you happen to watch any of it? Because I know you're a baseball guy. Did you happen to watch any of the home run derby last night?
I did. I was at Chris Nyland's golf tournament in Montreal in support of the Liam Foundation. So I was with a bunch of other hockey players, and we were watching a rerun later at night and kind of saw clips. So I know what happened, but I didn't see it live. No, just little clips.
Okay. I actually like the home run derby. I think it's pretty good. I would have preferred like a swing off than just going with the measurement. But
yeah, I didn't get that. Okay, so I saw it in silence. So explain this to me. Wasn't it like a matter of inches?
Oh God, yeah, it was crazy. Like literally inches. And I'm like, I know that and I'm sure that it's accurate or somewhat close, but I'm kind of like, imagine if you would have just had a 5 swing off. Like you get 5 swings, whereas the most after 5 away go. Like to me, it would have been awesome. Like it didn't ruin the event by any stretch of the imagination. I don't want to say that and be a fun sponge here, but I just felt like, man, I was like, God, there was an opportunity here to do even more. That's all.
Yeah, I think so too. And if there's anything that baseball does well, I think they adjust on the fly. I don't think that's a hard problem to fix. I think enough people saw that, and enough people will probably in some way voice their opinion today that maybe there'll be something done. I wouldn't rule it out. Not that I have anything to do with making those decisions, nor am I an insider. I just think it was pretty obvious. You're talking about the matter of inches when it's just a few more swings, and you can have a definitive leader. And I know it's wear and tear, but come on, it's a few swings. So that's the way I would go. I hope they do that because it left a little bit of not a gray cloud, but just a little bit of an unnecessary throwback to it all. I thought maybe we could have seen a definitive leader, and in this day and age when that's happened a few times, maybe we would have seen it already.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I thought a small little thing that maybe they could have fixed a little bit. The Oilers make all their coaching announcements yesterday. Paul Coffey is not coming back. And they're really, in essence, they're kind of not replacing them because Mark Stewart was on the staff and he's now going to run the defense and a penalty kill. They bring in a goalie coach in Pete Aubry. McFarland's going to be the new power play coach. And then they have a new skills coach. What do you make? Let's start with McFarland. We had him on the show. He's a younger guy. He's been a power play guy in Toronto. And in his first year in Toronto, the Leafs power play improved quite a bit. And, Marner and Matthews are there. Now, the Oilers' power play has been really good. So it's not like, there's lots of room to improve it. But I want to talk about maybe his role on that second unit, Terry. And really, that's probably where, the biggest play is, because if they can get the second unit a little bit more involved, then you can get a little bit more, diversity of guys scoring, which maybe could help you because you've got a little bit more depth guys scoring and kind of feeling the puck a little bit more often on the power play. What do you make of that? You think it's possible?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. It's a tough job to come into, really. Adjusting, the Oilers' power. And which at times in the recent past with pretty much the same units or similar has been record-setting good. So that would be tough. I thought the exact same thing as you did, and I think a lot of that will fill itself in. Like the second power play, I think it's going to look a lot different, but more different than the first will. And guys that were, first of all, I think there's probably at least one element that we don't know who it is yet that's not on the team. And, guys, like I keep going back to Isaac Howard, guys like that might, that's where they might, there's an opportunity there, and then maybe they'll grab an opportunity like that and use it to their advantage. I mean, there's only so many things that I guess you could do to change up the first power play. And to some degree, I mean, you have a system, but to some degree, they've been successful. So, I mean, you really explore that and you kind of let it run. I fully expect the second power play I think that's where most of McFarland's challenge will be, where most of his planning will probably be. Not that they're even going to go there. Like, to me, it's just a nice option to have when you can fall back on an advantageous second power play when you got so many weapons on the first. I think it goes without saying, and you might see a little bit of a shake. And sometimes it's just a little bit of a change, right? You just change things a little bit, and the way things set might set you in a slightly different direction. I think tweak would be maybe a better descriptive word for what they're about to do. I don't think they'll change much, maybe just tweak.
How much? Now, I know you're not a goalie, and I don't know if you ever worked with a goalie. Like, Pete Aubrey comes in, I think it's just sometimes you just need a new voice, right? And there's not like massive changes. We had Woodley on yesterday, and he went into some of the things that you can do, a little bit different. He also said, like, it's a short summer. It's not like you have all this time to change a bunch, because once the season starts, if you start trying to change things in season, you got a lot of problems, because now your goalie's thinking, he's not reacting, and that can lead to all sorts of problems. So how much of a difference, like, if there's, because Skinner 2 years ago under Knobloch, in those 50 starts that Skinner had out of the 69 games Knobloch was here, he was top 10. He was 4th in goals against. He was 8th in save percentage. He was 7th in goals saved above expected. He was 1st in wins. Like, those are pretty good numbers. So, like, there's still something there on Skinner that I think he's not close to being fully developed in my eyes. Where do you come out on Skinner and what a new coach might do or not do for him?
Like you said, sometimes small changes, sometimes you just need to set things a little bit different, just a little change, and sometimes it's mental. And I think I've always had a soft spot for goalies that they have to do a level of thinking unlike any other player. Even when you're in a slump, sometimes it can just bounce in off your shin. You can tell yourself to go work hard and have a good game, kind of force yourself to at least have a game where people notice you're working hard, right? I mean, all those, I think a year ago when Connor Brown was in such a crazy slump, I think he had one goal in 30 games or so. But, he went out there and he tried, and you get a little bit of leeway for that. When you're a goalie, it's loud, and if you're anywhere remotely online or in a place like Edmonton or any city that is close attention to their sports figures, let alone their hockey team, like Canada, I think that, I mean, for me, even though I probably wouldn't admit it publicly, it would probably get to me a little bit. So I think a lot of it would be, staying relaxed in your mind. We know he can do the job. Pick the send. They had similar, say, percentage numbers, but they're they can do the job. I think a few years ago, you saw a guy like Jack Campbell really let it get to him. And what I love about Skinner in particular is that he seems cool as a cucumber at times. I mean, what I like about Carey Price, not that he's Carey Price, but they have a similar demeanor about them when there's a lot of pressure, and dealing with that isn't easy, and I'd be careful what I wish for. And I know he's at times could have played better. At times he's been fantastic. And even though he's a little bit older than some young prospect, I still, maybe even if you bring in a guy and they're a tandem, and nothing against Pickard, but I don't know if anybody even expected this much so far. But I really do think that Skinner has more to give, and I'd think twice before getting rid of him, because I think there's a lot of good there. And like I said, for someone to be able to handle all that noise in a market with so much of it, I think is a rare thing.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Tyler Remchuk will join us next from Oilers Nation Daily Faceoff. We're talking hockey, might even talk a little baseball, and more on the Gregor Show presented by Play Alberta. Also, TR, during the break, if there was one change, because we talked about that, maybe a swing off for the Major Leagues of Baseball All-Star game. If there was one thing you could change in the skills competition or add, think about it. We'll come at that next on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca for the NHL.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Oodle Noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman.
Yeah, we don't want
proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a popular young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle. You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
It's happened again, and construction season is in full swing. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at TitanSupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
I'm still.
Portion of this hour brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Employee pricing is on now at GMC. You can get up to $12,000 off a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali Ultimate only at gmccanada.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.324. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As we roll through, we get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars. Edmonton Discovery Day sales event continues on for the rest of this month only. You can lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49%. Oh, it's like free money. And save $4,000. Great vehicles, better service at Volvo Cars. Edmonton.com. As we welcome in from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff, Tyler Yaremchuk joins us. Ty, how you doing?
Good, Greg. It's a beautiful day today.
It is nice out. Yes. Give me your thoughts on the Oilers coaches, and if you had to pick one who can make the biggest impact, who's it going to be?
I think it'll be Mark Stewart, just because, kind of heard Knobloch the other day talk about how he's going to have full reins at the PK still and all of that. And, now that he maybe, was working in tandem on the defense with Paul Coffey before, maybe now there's a chance Mark Stewart is more comfortable to make some different decisions now that he doesn't have to maybe make them in tandem with Coffey. So I'm excited to see what Mark Stewart can do with the blue line, with the penalty kill, because that's really the area of improvement. I like McFarland. Seems like a really good coach. Every stop he's kind of had, there's been some bit of success. But I mean, when it comes to the Oilers power play, like, I don't know, it's been so good for so long. Like, how much better could he make it? How much does a coach help Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl on the power play? I don't know. I think there's more room for a coach to impact the Oilers penalty kill, especially considering how poor it was for stretches last year. It's an area they definitely have to turn around.
No, that's totally valid. Yes. And, personnel, I think obviously is something, but they'll know it's clearly that, Matt's always going to get some time on the penalty kill. It sounds like from the head coach. Curtis Lazar, if he's in the lineup, is going to get some time. So they're going to have some new penalty killers for sure. Pod Coles, and obviously, Nugent Hopkins, Henrique, whatever, we'll see where it goes from there. But Lazar is a right shot center. So I pretty much want to slot him in as somebody who's going to be in the lineup, whether he's playing center or whether playing wing, because he can at least take faceoffs as a righty. And I think that's key. But you look at, now that their lineup's pretty much set, I think there's a very good chance we could see a goalie via trade or waivers around, during preseason. I think that's plausible. And I'm not talking a big name starter. I just think somebody that they would see is to challenge Calvin Pickard. That's kind of what I see happening. Do you see any other moves?
Yeah, I think really I'm with you. Goaltending is kind of the one. You look at how many forwards are on their roster in their organization. I don't know if you get a whole lot out of like PTOing someone like Brett Leeson or Joel Kiviranta. Like, I don't know, just let the guys you have right now compete. I don't think there's really a lot of room for another guy to come in for camp. So yeah, I do kind of look at goaltending. Maybe there's room for like a PTO defenseman or something like that. But I wrote today at Oilers Nation, not sure if it's up. I had Jeff Merrick on my show on Monday, and he talked about how Mikey DiPietro could be a guy who shakes loose out of Boston. A very similar situation in some ways to Arthur Seelov's, where they have Swayman, they have Korpisalo, and DiPietro's that third guy who now needs waivers. I tend to think DiPietro re-upped a couple of days before unrestricted free agency, I believe, in Boston. Would he have signed a 2-year deal with the Bruins knowing that they're just going to put him on waivers? Or is Boston maybe looking to run with him as the backup? And could someone like Jonas Korpisalo hit the waiver wire? I don't think the Oilers should be overly interested in taking Jonas Korpisalo's $3 million cap hit for the next 3 years. But I don't know. I've heard people throwing out Tristan Jarry. Jarry at 50% retained. He's 30 years old. He's 2.6, 2.7 million, whatever it is. Korpisalo at 50% retained is 1.5 million. He's 31 years old. He's also 2 years removed from his last really good season. If you're going to take a stab on one of them, I get the appeal of Jarry, but there's so much risk with that $2.6 million cap hit, even at 50% retained. If you're making a move just for the sake of move, which I don't think they should, but if you're in that camp, Korpisalo probably makes more sense than Jarry, just because it's a $1.5 million gamble, not a $2.6 million gamble.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But the Tristan Jarry one to me is plus they'd have to get, you have to throw in Calvin Pickard in that trade, and then you're going to have to throw in something else just to make the deal work. There's no doubt about that. So I don't know. That's. It's odd. Like you mentioned the DiPietro, he's one. I look at New Jersey, man. Look at the New Jersey Devils. They got Markstrom, and they just signed their backup for 5 years in Jake Allen. Right? They got a guy in the minors, Nico Dawes, and I'm pretty sure this is Nico Dawes' first year where he requires waivers. So that's another guy that I would look at. Younger goalie that would come in and he would push. Because I think what the Oilers need to do is try to find a guy who is an up-and-comer who's not fully established yet. Because now you could go out and get an established guy. Sure, it's going to cost you a lot of money, right? And the thing is, Stuart Skinner, you can nitpick and pick and choose. The truth of the matter is he's being your starting goalie. And yeah, he got pulled for a few games. Sure. So then they have a decent backup, but he's been the guy who played the most games to get you to the Stanley Cup final. So it wasn't awful against Vegas. He's dominated Dallas 2 years in a row in the conference final. So there is still some upside to a young goalie. We had Woodley on yesterday, and Woodley's like, I think people overlooked that Stuart Skinner really doesn't have that much experience. Like 3 years, in the first year he got thrown into said, sorry, kid, when he probably wasn't mentally ready to be a starter.
Yeah, like I remember having conversations. The initial timeline of that 5-year deal for Jack Campbell and pairing him with Stuart Skinner was 2 years where Skinner was the backup, maybe 1 year where you're splitting it a little bit more. And then sure, if Skinner develops the way that they were hoping he'd develop, years 4 and 5 of the Campbell deal were supposed to be the years where you go, all right, we have the young up-and-comer, and maybe Campbell's just our expensive, reliable backup. Well, you got 0 years out of Jack Campbell, and Stuart Skinner had to be rushed in that timeline by 3 years. Like, the initial read on this was that this upcoming season was probably supposed to be Stuart Skinner's first one as the starter. He's been to 2 Stanley Cup finals already. So again, I think it's important to take a big picture view of this. He's a 26-year-old goalie. Not every goalie develops in a linear way or develops the same way. And Stuart Skinner's gained a lot of valuable experience. I'm not throwing him out just for the sake of saying, oh, I'm so frustrated because we lost again to Florida. I just want to change something. Like, that's not how good organizations operate. And when it comes to guys like DiPietro or Nico Dawes, like, again, you might look at, and Dawes, you kind of look at his numbers in the American League and you're like, is there really a good goalie in there? But he's been decent in some stints in the NHL, and people might go, well, what is he? Like, why? That's not an answer. Well, he's 24. You don't really know what he is yet. And I'll take stabs on Dawes and DiPietro all day, because if it doesn't work, just put him on waivers and bring Calvin Pickard back up, or whatever you need to do. If you miss on a Tristan Jarry or you miss on Jonas Corposalo, you're just eventually adding more dead cap space to the Jack Campbell pile. Like, you can't be wrong if you're going to get Tristan Jarry. You have to be right, and it's not a risk worth taking.
Totally agree with you. You're right. You have to be right on that one. You can take a flyer on other guys and see, because you still have a goalie in your organization that has a lot of games and has had really good stretches. Has he had some down stretches? 1,000%, but he's had lots of good stretches as well. So, you have the opportunity to kind of figure out how the season goes along in that regard. Ike Howard, where do you come out on Ike Howard? Like, now I've seen people going to play McDavid's line, and he might, and he might not. But the offensive expectations from some people on Ike Howard have blown me away here right now. So I dug into the numbers, and I'm like, dude, it is hard to score 20 goals in the NHL and pump the brakes on some of these. Hey, I hope he overachieves and blows the doors off, but I'm not sold it's likely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, not at all. Like, again, in Edmonton, we know how scarce power play time is for the guys outside of the big five, we'll call them. And yeah, like, I was talking with Liam about this last week, and it's like, okay, you lost 16 goals from Skinner and 14, I believe, from Arvidsson. If Savoy and Ike Howard combined for 3 goals, that's a win. And I feel like some people are going a little bit off the deep end, being like, oh, I'm betting on him to win the Calder this season. Could he score 25 on McDavid's wing? They're showing all the highlights of his goals from Michigan. And it's like, we've never seen the kid play professional hockey. Like, I'm a big believer in him. I don't want this to seem like I'm coming off as some sort of Debbie Downer, but like, if you go into the year being like, well, I think he might be able to score 30 goals, then you're just setting yourself up for disappointment, even if he has a really good year. And if he's a 40-point guy for the Oilers as a rookie, like, that's a massive accomplishment, considering most of that scoring would likely be coming at 5-on-5. Same with Savoy. Like, if he comes in, scores 15 goals, has 40 points, and is one of your better penalty killers, or at least adjusts and can competently penalty kill at the NHL level, that's such a massive win developmentally. Like, I don't know. I feel like people are maybe, but I mean, it's also July. That's what we do best here, is maybe run a little bit wild and drink the Kool-Aid. So I understand why people are getting excited. The Oilers haven't had quality young players in their lineup in a pretty long time, but pump the brakes a little bit, because you're just almost setting them up for failure if you set the bar that high. And I think Knobloch talked about that a little bit too, right? Like, he wasn't promising anyone any spot in the lineup when he spoke.
No, and I wouldn't expect him to, but he also did say, they're expecting to have the 2 guys in. And I actually think the Oilers lineup needs a little bit of youthful excitement in their lineup. Just not so much off the ice. I just think in the room, like, they're a very serious group, and it is pro sports. You can be fired up and want to win, and still have a chuckle every now and then, and have some fun. And I think some young guys will bring that to them. They might do some stuff that's funny, that the old married guys, conversations like that can loosen up a room. Make no mistake about it. So I think adding Savoy and Howard in that regard could help them. What about the defense? We know who the top 5 are. You got Stetcher, you got Emerson, but you also have Alex Regula, who I know didn't play last year, and he requires waivers. And then you've got Leppinen. Where do you come out on the defense? Could there be a surprise in training camp and preseason on the back end?
I mean, Leppinen, I think you probably want him down in Bakersfield. Even if you're a big believer in him, you probably want him down in Bakersfield until Christmas, just learning the North American game a little bit. I actually I hear good things about Alex Regula, and they gave him a 2-year contract. You don't do that unless, as an organization, unless you have a lot of confidence that he's going to do something in those 2 years and be more than just a guy who's eating up minutes in Bakersfield. They took the waiver claim on him. He's a right shot. When you look at their blue line right now, I mean, they're probably going to obviously be flipping like a Wallman or a Kulak over, but I don't think it's a guarantee that Troy Stetcher's on the opening night lineup or even on the lineup. Maybe I should say a month into the year. If Regula as a righty comes in and fills the void, I could see him being the one guy who's a bit of a surprise. But yeah, Leppinen, I would imagine he needs some time in Bakersfield. But even as I kind of say it out now, it'll probably be a month, and then maybe a Regula gets in because of an injury, and maybe he just doesn't let go of that spot. But again, just from talking to people, I've heard good things about him.
Yeah, well, he requires waivers, right? So it might be hard to get him through waivers. That's the thing on him. So that's where I you know what? Troy Stetcher is a veteran guy, and I really like Troy Stetcher, but I wonder if the organization, you get to training camp and they're like, well, geez, we don't want to lose Regula. Do you maybe think, hey, maybe we can slide Stetcher through? I think it would be hard because, how he played in the playoffs. So, and he's a veteran player, but I think that, the forward group, I don't know who's going to fit in where. It's kind of interesting to me to see, what the lines are going to be. I think obviously Jones isn't going to be one of those guys here, but if they only keep 13 forwards up front high, they're going to have to waive a veteran, not name Jones. Yeah, I'm looking at the 14 that Puckpedia have listed right now, and David Tomasek doesn't need waivers, so you could get down to 13 by just waiving Tomasek. But again, from what you hear, they seem pretty high on him. I know I talked to Steven Ellis about him, and Ellis watched a decent amount of his hockey and was like, no, he's probably ready to slide into an NHL lineup. So, if it's not Tomasek, Curtis Lazar. I still wonder about Noah Philp coming into camp. I know he's not listed in those 14, but he penalty killed a lot in Bakersfield last year. And from what I heard, he was good as a penalty kill guy. I still believe in him. Maybe that's my Golden Bears bias coming through a little bit, but they're going to have a really tough decision to make on someone. But that's good. Having that legitimate competition in camp where these guys, even guys who have been on the roster the last couple of years, don't just have the feeling, I'm going to waltz in, sleepwalk through a couple preseason games. Let's get to the real thing. I think kind of having that energy is really good. It goes back to the youthful side of things too. Having guys who are at camp, who are here during the regular season, who are maybe more excited to play in regular season games, whereas some of the vets who've now been to back-to-back cup finals might just be a little bit like, oh my God, it's December. Let's all calm down. I think having a little bit of energy is good right out of the gates in training camp. No one's job is guaranteed. That's what winning teams have. Before I let you go, are you not getting married right away? Yeah, I get married in 2.5 weeks. I kind of keep forgetting it, honestly. It was my bachelor party this last weekend, though. That was fun. Yeah, you went golfing. Yeah, we golfed 4 times in 3 days out in Invermere. It was unbelievable. And are you writing your speech for your wedding yet? Have you started that? No, I haven't. Honestly, I've done very little. I kind of just kept being I'll do it all after my bachelor party. That'll be the start of all the work wedding wise. And I think I'm kind of regretting that decision because the list I've been given of things I need to do in the next few weeks is quite long. You know me. This is kind of how I roll. I fly into my pants a little bit. So what are your responsibilities for the wedding? Just I'm curious. What is your fiance said? Okay, this is what you need to do. You know what? The one big thing I have crushed off of it is I got the seating chart done. That was actually kind of fun. I viewed it as a very interesting puzzle of where I need to sit everyone. But I'm in charge of designing all the signs and stuff since I have a bit of a creative brain. So I got to do all that. I got to find a place to get them printed off, and I have to buy all the booze. That's the other thing I've been tasked with. So I'm trying to figure out how much booze I exactly need to buy for 100. Don't have to, you definitely don't want to be short in that department. I know. Right? So I'm in charge of the booze and the graphic design. Those are my 2 big jobs. Oof. Jeez, graphic. And how big is your funeral? I mean, your wedding.
What a Freudian slip. It's 155 people right now, so it's not crazy big.
No, it's not crazy. What do you mean right now? Are you still having some last minute people show up?
No, I feel like every week I get an email like on our little list where people go to RSVP. Oh, sorry, I can't come anymore. Oh, this person's not coming anymore. So it's been dropping. Like, I don't know, it might be like 130.
Well, that's okay. Jeez. Well, see, that's
I know, yeah. So I think our caterer was like, we have until 10 days out to like update our list, because it would be mildly annoying if I end up paying for plates that don't get eaten. But I mean, whatever. It's all so much money now. I'm like numb to it.
Oh yeah. Well, good luck with that, and enjoy it. I'm sure you'll be the night before finishing your speech. So class.
Morning of, night before, I got plenty of time.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think you'll cry at your when you're saying your vows?
That's tough to tell with me. It depends on the mood. I'm not like a big crier, but it might get me. It might get me.
I might get you. All right. Well, yeah, creeps up on people. Creeps up on you. So I can tell from experience. So there you go. Well, that'll be fun. Good luck with that, and we'll chat with you again next week.
Okay.
To see how much you've actually accomplished in a week.
Yeah, it'll keep me in check. Honestly, I appreciate that. See ya.
There you go. That's Tyler Remchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Face Off. 342. Connor, what was your responsibility at your wedding, Cons?
Seating chart for sure. Handling that.
See what? Like, I'm curious about why did I never did a seating chart. I'm like, show up. Figure it out. I don't know why we need the seating chart. I think it's added stress that's unnecessary. Like you have certain tables, like 1 or 2 reserved for your parents and her side of the family. After that, I'm like, people sit where they want.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly one way to do it. I don't know. It was just kind of the norm that we had experienced, so we did it. It wasn't too hard for me. Like the numbers worked out okay. There's a few people that were probably random, and but you're at the wedding, you're forced to meet new people anyways, right? Like you're going to talk to them. Everyone's in a good mood, so I don't think it's too stressful. Other than that, though, like we kind of, I feel like we tag team. Ashley did way more work than I did. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of things we kind of handled together, I think.
All right. Okay.
Well, what did I pick up some stuff beforehand? I took a couple of days off before to kind of go grab things. I think that was part of my work as well, the manual labor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fair. I organized most things for my wedding, but I'm an organizer, so I did a lot of got the venue, got all the because we had talked about it. I'm like, the things that you stress out that are irrelevant. No one cares what the centerpiece is at the table. I'll tell you that right now. You ask one human being if you can remember, well, maybe the odd person. 99% of you think of the last wedding you went to. Do you remember the centerpiece? Honestly, and people get stressed out about these things. So, it wasn't. Did pick the MC, pick the DJ. Did a lot of it because I was just like, hey, let's just go. It's done. Here we go. Had friends who did different roles, so that made it a lot easier. But it's the seating chart I find is just a lot of work for people because we want to put someone here and then they go there and then I said, guess what? You know what? Sit where you want. If you don't like where you sit, then you can't blame me. It was your choice. You chose to sit there. Quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We got a lot of texts to get to. We'll get to Alex Downey later on, Spec, Strudwick, and more on the Gregor Show. And also the text for you, which, if you look at the defense, do you think there'll be a surprise? Or do you think it's pretty much locked in? The 7 that were there in the playoffs are the 7. Obviously, John Klingberg wasn't here, but Emerson and Stetcher are. I think that's it. Or they go different. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Gamble once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Breaking news, McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza Bites missing in Italy. Big Rusty stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, this just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced at McDonald's Canada. The International Menu Heist. Try them all while you...
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30 grand. Some are more, some are less. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their checking account.
Monthly payments are the best way to get the used RV that's right for your family.
That's right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen when I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob, but less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you as well, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest into technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh man, this is maybe one of the greatest videos of all time. If you haven't seen that Call Me video, you're missing out. Definitely for a younger Jason Gregor, that was the go-to video. TR, you must have watched that video a few times in your life. Please tell me you have.
Song, yes. Video, no.
What?
No. I've never seen that video. I mean, I've seen the original Stevie Winwood Valerie video. You're talking about the dance version, right?
No, I'm just talking about Call Me. Yeah, I haven't seen that. Oh, jeez, buddy, I have to show it to you one time.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a sample of the Stevie Winwood song Valerie, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's good. I'm surprised that Terry Ryan hasn't. It's Call on Me by Eric Prides. Like that is, I might have to send it.
But you know what the song is? Like, Valerie by Stevie Winwood is what they're riffing. That's the
yeah. Well, it goes by that, but yeah, it's nothing. It's based on a sample.
Not exactly his idea.
Yeah. No. But it's based. Yeah. But I can tell you, if you watch the video, TR, it has nothing to do with Stevie Winwood and Valerie. I'll say it.
Oh, I bet.
I'm stunned that you haven't seen that video. That's unreal.
No.
Oh my goodness.
I really haven't.
Oh God. You think like 1980s and they got the workout going, like the whole song is just him in like this gym and there's like a few super hot kind of trainers. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a good video. That's all I'm going to say.
I see. A little bit of a throwback to Flashdance and Fame era.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. So, probably even less clothing on. So like there's still clothing, but
Suzanne Summers.
Oh God, yeah. Now you see, now you're catching on. Now you're catching. TR, now I know it's been a while, but when you got married, did you how involved were you in the organizing? We were just talking to Ty about his upcoming nuptials. Do you remember what your responsibility was leading up to your wedding?
Oh, well, first of all, I had two, and not really, just didn't want to. Yeah, the first one, and we're all still friends here, so I can talk about it. The first one, we didn't. Yeah, honestly, it was just a party, and I invited all my friends, and I probably didn't treat it as respectfully as I should have. I don't know if she did either. I mean, the whole situation, we just took it for granted. We were young. It was a good party, but I don't know about wedded bliss action. The second one, Danielle and I, Penny Lane's mom, and we're still friends. See her almost every day, but we agree it was a bad idea. But we went in the backyard, to be honest, the first time, Justice of the Peace, and we kind of planned a party in Red Deer and then in Mount Pearl, back to back accordingly. But yeah, it was a bit of a wing and a prayer. A few of my friends, we went out to Sylvan Lake and tied the knot backyard.
Now,
not much planning was needed.
Yeah, like your first wedding, was it somebody like you just met very quickly and it was like a whirlwind?
I'd met her. She went to high school with me in Cornell, BC, but I went back for and I mean, I didn't keep in touch with her at all. You know, maybe, what was it? I guess 7 or 8 years went by, and I just went back for a wedding. And yeah, it came quickly. I don't know, a few months after that. Yeah, it was pretty impulsive. It was pretty irresponsible. Looking back, it was appropriate for the situation. We laugh at it. And if you can believe this, her name was Jen, and she is a great person. We were just young for that, but you know, and so she was from Cornell, BC. She came to Colorado Springs with me, and then came to Newfoundland, you know, where we proceeded to get divorced. And she went from there to Seattle and Calgary, and kind of moved on. And I didn't really track where she was. And last year, I was in Black Falls last November, Alberta, to do an event, and it got snowed out. And so I just went into the mall. There was nothing else to do. There was about 5 people in the mall. And Jen was walking one way, I was walking the other. I literally nearly banged right into her. It was wild. The odds on that are astronomical. But we had a good catch up, and we laughed and hit a Red Deer Rebels game that night.
You hadn't seen her in how many years?
About 18.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, wild.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah.
She was dropping off her daughter, who was like 1 or 2 then, like just born the last time I saw her, and she was dropping off her daughter to work, and you know, it was, like I said, it was a snowstorm. There was nothing happening, so that was a bit wild, to say the least.
That's too funny. Now we you said that it was impulsive as a youngster. Would you ever get married again?
I say no, but I think that just could be some deep-rooted, maybe, animosity toward the whole situation because it didn't work out for me. I'm sure if you meet the right person, but everybody's different. And what I'm sure of now, is that I like what I like. I like some solo time. It'd have to be, and I think I'd pick the right person. Not that the 2 people I married weren't great people in their own right, and I'm as responsible for the divorce as anything, as they are. But we're just all different people. I don't think there was any bad blood there or anything. But for me, and that would mean a lot. Like whoever would have to, like I think it could work if they same town, all right, but couldn't live with me. I couldn't. I just like my solo time too much. I'm selfish about it. I come home and I just can't put in that, hey, honey, how's the day? And just put on that fake, fine for an hour or 2, but I need my records, I need my PlayStation, I need my podcast, I need my little space. It's nice. Let's go to dinner and I'll see you again tomorrow. That's the kind of thing. And
well, there are people nowadays, you say that I know that are married but don't live together. They have their own house.
Or a big space with like literally, I don't like sleeping with people, like in a sense of actually sleeping. So, you know, That's it. I just don't. And I tried to force that or not. You know, when I guess the social norms are forced upon you, and you don't even think of any other option. Those things can add to being, annoyed with each other, maybe, for lack of a better way to put it. I just think there's a lot to it, and little things, right? Like if my best friends in the world, each one of them, and we've all been roommates for some reason or another, whether it's a trip to Europe or, a hockey trip or whatever it would be, a roommate in school or whatever. And it's just never, I just always end up getting annoyed. So it's nothing against the person. It's just, I need that space. And I think there is a world where I could be married, yeah, but it would really have to be on my own terms. I'm not jumping at it anymore, and nor do I need it. I'm happy, and I've got a great relationship with my 2 ex-wives, and my daughter's happy. That's all I really need. But who knows? At some point, maybe. I love traveling, and it'd be nice to do it with someone like that consistently.
Now let's get to the Oilers, and we were talking about the blue line earlier. So you got Ekholm and Bouchard and Nurse and Kulak and Wallman. I think everybody agrees those are 5 defensemen. Then you got Stetcher, and then you got Emerson. But then you got a little bit of a wild card. You have Alex Regula, who's 24. He's not young by any stretch. It's not like he's that much younger than Ty Emberson. And I don't know, Ty Emberson just signed an extension. I understand it, but it's not like it's a huge number that might require waivers or not. But Alex Regula, and then you've got the massive wild card in Lepinen, who just signed from Finland. He broke the record for most points in a year by a defenseman. Do you think there's a chance that one of Regula or Lepinen could make, assuming people are healthy, could make the opening night roster?
I suppose there's a chance. I think contract-wise and for their sake, I don't think you'd be losing at all to start them in the minors. I guess it would depend on how camp goes. I'm intrigued as well. And those numbers in Finland were very surprising to me. But yeah, I don't think you could hurt by easing him in. Hit the minors, and then you might run into an injury or something. I mean, I think it's possible. I just think where the other players fall in the pecking order and where their contracts lie, I think it might be hard. But yet, on talent alone, of course, I think both guys. I think they're just one good camp away from doing exactly that. It might be tough given the circumstances, is all.
You've been to camp where you come in and you look at the roster and, geez, I'm not sure there's many openings. Like, you talk to a lot of guys. Like, do most guys come to camp knowing that they're not going to make it, or they firmly believe, okay, I'm going to make it? Like, what's the mindset for most players?
It's a great question. When I was that age, I wish I had. I didn't even think about the contracts. I didn't, and my agent was Wayne Gretzky's agent. I mean, he's one of the best in the world. Not blaming. I didn't think to bring it up even to him. But every time I just saw I want to make that team, and I don't understand why I'm not doing it. And when I went out and had a good game or a good shift or period or whatever it be, and I would take pride in that, and I just couldn't understand it. But the way contracts work, I mean, it's a lot of the time the biggest factor.
Yeah.
So I just think you got to really hone in your expectations and let's see what's the best possible scenario, what's the worst possible scenario, but what's the most likely scenario. If I have a good camp, what's the most likely scenario? Not just because they don't like me or because I didn't have a good camp. Maybe they're looking at making a trade. Maybe it's this fact I'm on a two-way contract. There's all kinds of other things that fall into the equation. And looking back now, if I had to approach that, I would probably say, okay, here's this season. What can I get here? Hopefully I can get 20 games this season. If I get 20, hopefully I can get 40. When I play, what's going to happen? At some point, I'm going to get called up. I know that. There's going to be injuries. The law of averages says at some point. Now, when I get called up, what am I going to do? What do I need to work on? Penalty kill, blocking shots, those things I can just do immediately. What do I long-term? I got to work on my skating. I got to work on my skating with my head up. Things like that. So I think, and I think maybe now players do exactly that. I was so hell-bent and bullheaded on making it that I really couldn't understand when I didn't. And looking back, it was probably, a large part was due to the contracts. Now I'm not blaming my situation. I'm happy I got to play in the NHL. I just mean looking, and a few of us were like that. I definitely know Darcy Tucker and Aaron Asham thought just like I did. And again, they were in the same position. So, you know, there's a gradual, and now you're asking me from, I guess, my perspective as a young player then, if I'm my member, so if I'm any one of the first 7 that you mentioned, same thing. You know, what did I do? Where did I leave last season? If I'm at home, I want to prove to everybody that the last part of the year in the playoffs, I was injured. I'm not just getting old. If I'm Nurse or Bouchard, I want to answer every critic that's been in my grill for the last couple of years, and so on. So I think each player should approach it differently, but there's a level of thought going in. What's best? What's worst? And realistically, what can I really hope for if I have a good camp?
Yeah, no, and I think it's true, right? But, you know, that mindset has to change. Like, I remember, hey, I'm coming to camp to make the team, and you probably say that publicly, but you can believe that, but you also have to look around and kind of have a realistic output. Otherwise, you end up being, and you don't want to tell yourself, I can't make it, right? But you want it, you probably have to find that fine line of realism on where you're sitting at this stage.
For what it's worth, I used to find it like almost awkward at camps like that. Like when I'd look at, say, I don't know, I'm a left shot forward in Montreal, right? I'm there, and there's Benoit Bernet, there's Patrick Poulin, there's Shane Corson, there's Scott Thornton. There's just 4 off the top of my head. And other guys battling for that position, you know, and sometimes Ashton would play left, or Jonas Hoagland was there. And so I knew I was like 5th or 6th. I also knew I was going to go out and be a spark plug, and I'd probably do things that at least half that list probably wouldn't do. Actually, that's a tough list, but you know what I mean. Maybe Hoagland, maybe Poulin. So I used to just see where I fit for that. But I honestly, I know this sounds crazy, but I used to talk to all of them because I used to hate that feeling of this inner competition when really we're buddies here, and I know that it's going to take you, Patrick, getting injured for me to get in here. But let's be buddies at camp. What can I learn from you? What can I? And I really, as a prospect, I really appreciated that, and it helped me felt at ease. And some of these guys, I mean, like I said, man, I had a cup of coffee there and I got injured. But a guy like Scott Thornton is still a friend of mine that because of that, and Corson and these guys, you know. So before I even got onto the ice at camp, I'd make sure to have at least an ongoing cordial relationship at the very least with the players who I was in competition with, because it's a rare thing, man. Like sports are one thing, but hockey's so physical, and then you know you're going to end up being these people's teammate, but it's literally putting bread on the table. You're going head to head with them. So I find similar to, I guess, a magnified example would be 2 goalies that are working in tandem, but for me, I really like to talk to the other people that were playing my position, and I think it used to help me mentally. It also helped me to deal with, you know, them off the ice in a positive way versus a negative one.
Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan with you, Sports 1440. Great stuff. We'll come back right after Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Training that improves your game at 01 Hockeyology. There's treadmills, full ice drills, data back coaching, but also even 101. Sign up today and get a $300 a month membership that gets you 18 sessions. Phenomenal deal at 01.ca. ZREONE.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oil Kings forward Miroslav Holinka signing a 3-year entry-level deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was selected in the 2024 draft in the 5th round. He had 19 goals last season in 47 games played. Major League Baseball's Midsummer Classic goes tonight from Atlanta. First pitch set for 6 o'clock in the NFL. The New York Jets signing cornerback Sauce Gardner for a 4-year, $120.4 million deal that makes him the league's highest-paid corner. And the Kansas City Chiefs agreeing to terms with right guard Trey Smith on a 4-year deal worth $94 million, 70 of which is guaranteed, making him the highest-paid interior lineman in league history. 2 games in the WNBA tonight. Fever up against Boston at 6, and at 8, you've got the Sparks taking on the Mystics. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll ask 5 questions and discuss the Anaheim Ducks with team host Alexis Downey. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, log,
Just after 3
and freight industries. Find for sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The dog days of summer means baseball. Every weekend, Sports 1440 carries Toronto Blue Jays ball games. Ben Shulman will have a call. Grab a cold one and tune in this weekend to Blue Jays baseball on Sports 1440.
Reports suggest the Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
B2 Gold needs mill operators for their new Nunavut mine. Earn $110,000 to $130,000 with a fly-in, fly-out rotation and paid benefits. Get in on the ground floor of a brand new operation. Visit the B2 Gold Job Fair, July 17th and 18th at the Terrace Office Tower in Edmonton.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save side of Save on Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
B2 Gold needs mill operators for their new Nunavut mine. Earn $110,000 to $130,000 with a fly-in, fly-out rotation and paid benefits. Get in on the ground floor of a brand new operation. Visit the B2 Gold Job Fair, July 17th and 18th at the Terrace Office Tower in Edmonton.
Whoop, there it is. 4 days of basketball at its best. Hoop City 2025, North America's largest FIBA 3x3 showcase. The top 4 Olympic teams on both men's and women's category. More than just hoops, there's entertainment, long-distance shootout, Grand Slam showcase, plus interactive games and prizes for everyone. Hoop City 3x3 Basketball Festival, July 31st to August 3rd. Ice Palace in West Edmonton Mall. Admission is free, so bring the whole family.
Got you, Tim, too. Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It's Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza when you use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each order at papajohns.ca.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.409. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Terry Ryan with you on a halfway through the Tuesday edition of the Gregor Show. It is interesting watching the pomp and circumstance of Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Like, they got a red carpet affair. Like, they make this a whole day thing where you look like, I know the NHL, it's on a Sunday, and I know they do it in the afternoon so they can get guys home. But it is kind of interesting. Now I wonder, could the NHL make their All-Star games bigger because it's only going to happen every second year? Well, and the next one will be the first one in many years because there wasn't one this season. There won't be one next season. Won't be till 27. So we'll see. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get your tickets tonight for Lotto Max. $19 million up for grabs. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca as TR sticks with us. And, like, to me, you look at the players, like, making the All-Star game is a big deal, right? And TR, I'm a big believer the NHL needs to scrap every team has to be represented. in the All-Star game. And the easy way to go around it is you can have players from those teams in the skills competition, right? There's going to be somebody that can, if you need, pick the worst team, the San Jose Sharks. If you need somebody in there, you can find one player to do one of the skills competitions. That's what I would go towards. And I don't care about the quality of the game. And honestly, I don't. But it's just about having the best players, so they all want to show up because it's an honor to be named an All-Star. Because right now, it's not. Because it's like, well, everybody gets one. It's a participation ribbon. And yeah, you get some of the good players, but you don't get all the best players.
Yeah, I mean, I see that thinking up to a point. I think when you start getting teams in the 30s, and literally there's more teams than there are that fill out a roster, I think then it gets a bit comical, right? You want to have the best players there. I could totally see it in a 6-team league. Even in a 6-team, I could make the argument with the 21-team league. But now that we're in the 30s and looking at adding more, and it's just like, some teams, that's the way the cookie crumbles. We're a great team because we got 5 All-Stars. Now let's get recognized. I also would rather, from a player's perspective, I really, really would. I don't know what it's like to be an NHL All-Star, but I'm certain that if I was on a team and I just got given because they were a bad team and I was the best of an average crop, I really, really, I know I can say wholeheartedly that I would rather someone with better statistics on a team that's maybe got 4 or 5 guys just go.
Yes.
Because you're an All-Star. I'm not, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And the players know from a young age, the players always know who the better players are. It doesn't matter, right? They just do. So I think that's a small thing that I would like to see changed in the NHL. I think it would for the All-Star game, because we've had a lot of texts on, things that now I don't care about the quality of game. I'm going to say that I don't expect players to go out there and be physical and do everything. Like Major League Baseball is the perfect All-Star game because you can have the pitcher throw gas. He's in there for an inning. You can have the batter swinging out of his shoes because he's trying to hit a home run or get a hit. I understand it. You can do it. I don't expect an NHL guy to be running guys through the boards in an All-Star game. It just doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like there's no reason to do it. But there's the MLB guys can give it their all because their game is a non-contact sport.
Yeah, exactly. Like the furthest I'd like it to go, I mean, I'd never expect hitting. And as robust as I like to play the game, if I'm in some kind of an All-Star game, I don't really want there to be hitting. But, a nice level of skating. Baseball, it's almost the perfect sport for that exact situation, right? Because the biggest, most tense moments are pitchers throwing gas, and you can still do that. Whereas, the players can't really go out there and go all out in football or hockey, and by extension, maybe even basketball. I mean, you're still risking some sort of an injury, and with contracts the way they are, sometimes it's short-sighted, and sometimes it's just downright stupid, depending on how hard you're going and what you're playing. But for me, the baseball All-Star game lends itself to the type of setup that because it seems to be the perfect All-Star game when given to at least the closest to perfect of the 4 sports. You can trace its history, go back as far as you want, and there's tweaks, especially with the home run competition. I'm not saying that, I'm saying the game. There are tweaks, but it's stayed pretty consistent over the years, and it might bring in a change and go back, but we're not seeing anything too ridiculous. And you get to also still see, home run hitters hit home runs, and you get to see pitchers throw gas. So it's to me, it goes without saying, it's my favorite All-Star game by quite a big margin. And then not that I'm with you. I think I've heard you say it before. The hockey All-Star game, it's not really about us. It's about the game. Anytime you go to these events, and I've been to the last few, and you see kids there, and they're meeting the players, and they're into it. It's kids that are going to be the future of the game, right? So, what do I care if people go out and put on a bit of a show or wear a cape or whatever they're doing, hot dogging during the skills competition? It's great. It's different. It wasn't like that in my day, but it's something that I think can always be improved upon. I love seeing people smile, but there are little tweaks. And when you asked me earlier what I would do, I've said since day one, I think there's a real art that's not noticed, and it's tipping pucks in front of the net.
Ooh.
I'd love to see. And you don't have to hammer pucks in there.
Okay.
You don't have to risk injury, but even wrist them in, hard wristers from the blue line. And I'd love to see guys like Pavelski and Crosby in their prime. Back in the day, Tim Kerr, Bob Bobby Smith, guys that could do that in front. And there's always been a player that, or a player, one to a half dozen in the league that really stand out. And I think it's a real skill that it's an underrated skill, especially to do it while moving. I'll point out Pavelski again. He's great at it. Like, just getting to the front of the net, and because you can't just stand there, right?
Yeah.
You got to go in there. You got to time it right. And guys that are good at that, I'd love to see it on display at the All-Star game. And I think you could really wow some people. I think guys that get like 8 and 9 out of 10, the best. I really do.
Well, I kind of like that idea. No one's ever really brought it up before. And because you could always augment that, TR, whether it's just the goalie or maybe you have like a shooter to the head. So you got to deflect it down. Now you got to deflect it up, right? So you got to go till you get different points for if you put it in, in a different area. Actually, that's a very simple thing, but it's true. When you look at goals in the playoffs, and we talked about the Edmonton Oilers, they were not good at getting traffic in front and deflecting pucks. They just haven't been over the last few years. It's like one of their biggest weaknesses as a team. So I love that idea, actually, because I think you don't see it very often, but it is deceptively hard to do it well.
It's really hard. I used to, there was a guy on our team in Tri-Cities, a lot of fans around there, the WHL in the day might know him, Chad Cabana. And Cabby, I had better hands than Cabby, but by nature, and he's a couple years older than me, and he was our captain. And I was having a hard time in the WHL at that going in. I had the balls to go to the front of the net, but it's not just that. You got to really time it. And I remember Cabby saying, treat it like the key in basketball. You can't just go and stand in there. You got to go. You got to time it right. You got to get it. You got to go in. You got to come out. You got to put your stick one way. You got to put it the other. You got to make the D work. Otherwise, you're just standing there. And it's nice for the coach to see you getting cross-checked in the back and going hard. And Terry's got spunk. But if you want to do it to be effective, then, you've got to really, there's a way to go about it. And Cabby scored 25 a few years. He was a decent scorer, but without that advice, I know I wouldn't have had so much success. And it led right up, the whole way to professional hockey. And I don't think enough people give it credit. And B, I'd love to see it on display at the All-Star game, as said.
Well, I like the fact how, he said, hey, treat it like the key. Because that's a very visual one that anybody, you go in, you can't just stand there, then you got to move out, right? You move to the side, you move to the play, but you come in and you go, and then you got to time it. Like nowadays, a lot of it is you want to try to get in the eyes of the goalie when the puck is being released. So now he can't see which side it's going to, right? That is a skill to time it. And it's funny you mentioned Joe Pavelski, because Joe Pavelski's golfing now today, TR, and he's in like some amateur tour, and he's absolutely killing it, right? Like I knew he was a pretty good golfer. And so it's just that brought to mind about just how good he is as a golfer. But that makes a lot of sense. And I'd be all for it. It'd be something different that we've never really seen.
Well, what would I'd be all over it. I'm kind of surprised it's never been brought up. What would you like to see added to the All-Star game?
Well, to me, I want to see one-timers. Like the standing still hardest shot. I never see a guy skate 10 feet into the puck and shoot it. Ever in a game.
Yeah.
I never see that.
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
So I would rather see, a one-timer and, coming across, you got to hit the one-timer. So the passer becomes very important. It's like watching the home run derby. You got now home run derby, something that you've practiced. Like they had their dads, other guys had their college coaches, buddies. So that's fine. Doesn't have to be an expert, but to get somebody who is going to be a great passer, right, who's putting it in your wheelhouse all the time, that makes it good. So that would be the one that I would like to see. I would like to see guys hitting one-timers on a regular basis.
Yeah, I never thought about that. And it's such a skill that's used by so many of the best players. Like there's some of these things are when they're on display, you want to see the best players doing them, obviously, like this fastest or the fastest skater, right? The hitting the targets. But that's another one. Yeah, that one-timer now has become pretty much every goal scorer, especially ones that play out on the power play, right? They've got to know how to do that. They got to know how to do it well. So to see Ovechkin or Laine or Caulfield or Draisaitl, think of the entertainment that would be, and you could bring it down, like Draisaitl scores like from 1 inch out of the line. I've never seen anything like it. You could also make it an accuracy thing, not just a hard shot, right? But where you're taking it. You want more points than the closer to the line you are, like Draisaitl,
Yeah.
I just use that because he's the best example I can think of. And I think you could really do something with it. There you go. I've never thought about that, but it almost seems obvious now that you've told me about it.
Yeah, no, I think, we should run the All-Star game next time, TR. We just came up with 2 really good ideas. Very simple. Cool. And this is for the skills competition, not for the All-Star game itself. When we come back, we're going to go to Anaheim, where the Ducks, there's a lot of people wondering, are they ready to fly after years of being a cellar dweller? We'll find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
So you're dying from the heat, sweat dripping on your sheets. You want to cool it down, but your AC can't compete. So you fall upon your knees and cry out, oh please, I need a cooling breeze. Send me Legacy's AC Repairman. Legacy's AC Repairman. AC Repairman. Can't spell Legacy without AC. Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken ACs. So if you got one, call Legacy. Okay, see you later. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Breaking news, McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza Bites missing in Italy. Big Rusty stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, it's just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced at McDonald's Canada. The international menu heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
The employee pricing event is on now at GMC. Right now, get up to $12,000 off the 2025 Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Bring power wherever you go with a 6.2-liter EcoTech V8 engine with dynamic fuel management technology. Bring style to the open road with a signature Denali Vader chrome grille and accents. And keep comfort top of mind with available Super Cruise hands-free driver assistance capability. Employee pricing is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through, busy Thursday afternoon. Hope you're having a lovely day. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Connor Halley with you as we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta. 4 divisions, project, service tag, and energy and projects. They design, build, switchgear replacements, new construction, and renovations. They do it all at actionelectrical.net. And we're going to go in the room of the Anaheim Ducks, where there's lots of rumblings that the Ducks might be ready to fly up the standings in the Western Conference this upcoming season. As Alexis Downey joins us, host for the Ducks. Alexis, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm excellent. There's a lot of excitement around the Ducks. New coach, new assistant coach, both obviously with the NHL experience in Quenneville and Woodcroft. They've made a few trades. They've signed. They got Chris Kreider in. I guess let's start with the two big names that have yet to sign in RFAs: Lucas Dostal and Mason McTavish. No real concern these will get done. This is just some high-end guys. Like, are you expecting 7-8 year deals from both of them, or do you think one of them might get a bridge deal?
Yeah, well, first off, it really has been quite a busy summer for the Ducks. It's been kind of hard to keep up with all the action. But yeah, as we're getting into July now, waiting to see when those contracts are signed. And as you said, they will get done, something that Pat Verbeek noted, that now that they're past free agency, they're working on those contracts. But yeah, I'm curious, honestly, to see how the term is on them. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see more of a bridge deal for, Dostal. I'm not really sure where the McTavish one lies, but I think that, that there was some desire, at least on his part, to be more that long term. And obviously he's already filed for the arbitration. So it's interesting to see how this has already gone down. I wouldn't be surprised if the bridge deal does come out of it on that end, but it's kind of hard to say. I guess we'll get to see here coming up.
Now, why do you think Dostal might be more of a bridge deal?
Yeah, I think that there, especially after the season that we saw, he took on that big load. There was an expectation that, maybe he could be the Ducks' number one goalie. And then, of course, they trade Gibson, and now he has what looks like it's going to be that role. So you would think in that case, long-term deal, but I think that was something that had been talked about during the season. Contract maybe necessarily wasn't done yet. So maybe a bridge deal here. It's hard to say, but I feel like we could end up seeing that with him. But I know that a lot of our fans here do want to see more of that long-term deal.
TR?
Alexis, Chris Kreider had a bit of an off season last year, but one could argue it was a result of a new coach and a new system. What do you guys expect out of him this season?
Yeah, I think there's some big expectations for him. A fresh start for him. It's going to be interesting for him to come to a new organization, but I think he's excited, and at least the chance that I got to talk to him. I think in the sense that fresh start could do him well, because we saw that with even Trouba coming in. He ended up having a great season with the Ducks. But yeah, I think there's some expectations that he is going to be helping on the end of production, obviously up front for the team, also bringing in a little bit of that leadership to the group as well. So I do expect him, honestly, to have a pretty big role with this team this year.
And how would you grade the Ducks offseason so far, 1 out of 10? Or 1 to 10?
Ooh, 1 to 10. 1 to 10, 10 being obviously the best, yes. I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say, I'd give it an 8. I think that things have gone well for Anaheim, especially getting head coach, Joe Quenneville, getting an assistant like Jay Woodcroft, finishing out that staff. I'm excited on the coaching end. The changes in terms of trading Trevor Zegras, I know that brought a lot of shock to a lot of fans here, and that's going to be, certainly a change. But I think that a new opportunity, for the depth that this organization does have, and same on the goaltending end, obviously with Dostal likely now taking over that big role. So I feel like it's been a good offseason. The addition of Granlund was really important on, July 1. And yes, that Pat Verbeek has talked about taking swings at some of, these big free agents this summer and last summer, but he really noted how he wasn't going to do anything if it didn't make sense. And he really likes the direction that this team is going. So I think overall it has been a positive off season for the team. And just like I said, just curious to see how some of these additions help this lineup, and, not having a guy anymore like Trevor Zegras, how that impacts the lineup.
Alexis Downey joins us. The Granlund signing to me just really spoke to here's a veteran coach. I want some veteran forwards that I can really rely on in key situations. And if we have to overpay him for a few years because we don't have, after Dustal McTavish, it's not like I know that their other young guy, Leo Carlson's up, but, and Cutter Gauthier. So I guess they have some. But I look at Granlund and they say, our young kids, you can coach them all you want, but sometimes they need to see it. And Granlund's responsible, his hockey acumen, I think the Ducks looked and said, yeah, we might overpay him a bit, but it's worth it because our young guys can learn a lot from him.
Oh, 100%. And they really liked the versatility that he brings, especially for special teams, because that was an area last year in particular that was really, really rough for the team. So having him on that end will hopefully boost those two areas for the Ducks on the PK and power play. But yeah, I think that the Granlund addition was huge for the team. I can tell you our fans, like I said, we're waiting to see what we were going to do come free agency. And we know that this team has a lot of cap space to work with. So getting Granlund was really an important move for the Ducks. And part of that was Teemu Selanne giving him a call.
Oh.
So, that might have had a little bit of influence on his decision.
Oh, well, it never hurts, right? Selanne, of course, one of the greatest Finns of all time and played in Anaheim. And, Joel Quenneville, when you have the conversations with him, obviously he's been out of the game for a while, right? So there is that. And the game does change, and it seems to change rather quickly. But Pat Verbeek, I think by looking at the makeup of this team, he's got Gudas and Trouba, Cutter Gauthier's got some bite to his game. Ross Johnson's tough as nails. Killorn, Kreider, like some bigger bodies. It's clear what type of team he wants to build in Anaheim. Do you think he's done, or is there still a few more pieces that he looks and says, as far as stylistically, that he'd like to add to this group, in whether it's this year or at the trade deadline?
Yeah, I really do think that there still are a couple pieces that he would like to add. He is liking the way it's shaping up. And we can see that as of, the way that he has been even drafting the last couple of years. He has that specific type of player, those bigger sized guys that he likes to draft. So, I think that, he's building a tough team in Anaheim, and it's going to be exciting in these years to come. But I don't think we're quite to the point where, we're done with that. I think that there is probably still more to come, and whether that is, later in the season or, wherever it may be.
What about on the back end in like Jackson Lacombe, I'm a huge fan of, right? And he's going to get a big contract too. He's got 1 year left. Him and Mintyukov, and then you throw in Olin Zellweger. Do you expect all three of them to be in the lineup to start this coming season?
Yeah, I think that's an area that I've been kind of wondering about as well. I do right now. I do see that. But then you look at a guy like Tristan Luneau, who had an incredible season down with the San Diego Gulls. So I think that the training camp could be very competitive this year. And certainly those guys know that there's just so much defensive depth when you look at the prospects that Anaheim has. And but I do, with the way the season ended last year, those guys getting the time, game in and game out. That was kind of the point with the Brian Dumoulin trade, to make sure that Mintyukov and Zellweger were getting the minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if all three of those guys were playing. I know certainly Jackson Lacombe has, like you said, he's been phenomenal for the team. I'm very excited to see the season that he has even this year, and certainly going to earn that contract as well. But as far as Mintyukov and Zellweger, I would expect them to be playing, but very curious what happens with Luneau as well, if he's able to, make a spot back there and kind of challenge one of those guys.
Yeah, and he's a right shot where those guys are all lefties, so that I don't know if that benefits him. He's kind of battling, I guess, maybe Drew Hellison, correct?
Yeah, and Zellweger has played a little bit on the right as well. So I think it's, some decisions are going to have to be made with the coaching staff.
And then what about in goal? We know that Dustal's a starter. Mrazek and Ville Husso. Ville Husso is still, I chuckle, like the guy who's played the least amount and has capitalized massively every time he gets a contract. Good for him. But, they acquired Mrazek in that trade earlier from Chicago. He's for like, which one of them are they going to put on waivers, or do you think they're going to try to trade one before? What's the plan and goal?
Yeah, I think the plan right now is likely going to be Mrazek. I'm actually getting the chance to chat with him this week, so get to know a little bit more of his perspective of this trade. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is Mrazek, even just with the experience level there. But, you know, down in San Diego, I know that they've been having some the team just announced Callie Klang a signing there for goaltending, but just kind of curious to see how that plays out. But I personally think it will be Mrazek with Dostal.
Wow. Well, that's so then maybe they just paid Ville Husso that much so they could put him through waivers and not have anybody claim him. So I guess I could see.
Yeah, it'd be interesting what happens.
That is very interesting. Alexis, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Have an awesome day.
Thank you so much.
That's Alexis Downey. So the reason I asked that, Oiler fan, because I'll tell you right now, I think the Edmonton Oilers are looking for a goalie. And now Ville Husso's numbers, like when he signed that contract, I'm like, how is this guy getting $2.2 million again? Like, it's unbelievable to me. I know he had 4 good games in Anaheim. 4 good games. It's kind of like, just like when he signed his other contract, he literally had like 30 games TR, and the guy's made like 20, I think it's like $23 million bucks. So good for him to do it at the right time. And I would like, do the Ducks, hey, you know what? We're gonna waive him because we know at 2.2 million, we'll pay him in the minors, and we won't necessarily worry about it that much because we think a team won't claim him. So, but it's interesting for me to see how that plays out, because the Oilers, I won't be surprised at all if the Oilers are going to look at guys potentially on waivers as a third goalie.
Yeah, I like what Tyler said. When you're looking for a third goalie, you know, you want some with some flexibility there. You don't want to be static or tied to a contract that might kill you in the end. And to elaborate on what you said earlier, man, timing's everything. Certain guys come in and they, the best example I can think of in all of sports history is what's his name? Ben Simmons, the basketball player. Is it Simmons?
Yeah, Ben Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Just he seems to constantly be making money and signing contracts. I mean, I don't even know where he is right now, but he's definitely making a lot of money. Not that Husso's in the same position, but hey, that's it. Some players, it depends on where and when you're going to sign, but sometimes you take advantage of that 3 or 4 times during your career. And I guess it's, I don't want to say it's good to see. I got no horse in the race, but when a player does that, I mean, you can't feel bad for him. You got to almost laugh.
Quick break. We'll come back. We got 5 questions next. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Connor Halley with you. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy, from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Canada's biggest appliance sale is at the Brick. Get up to $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Convertible fridge freezers start at just $199. Barbecues start at just $299. Get up to 60% off clearance models and below cost scratch and dent items. In-store only. Plus, pay 0% interest on appliances until 2029. Best of all, they'll beat any competitor's advertised price. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable, call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Reports suggest the Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
Can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Calling all cheddar lovers, try Papa John's new cheddar crust one-topping pizza for only $17.99. Order online at papajohns.ca or through the Papa John's app.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through Thursday afternoon. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan. Oh my, it's amazing to me. Your team loses a 100-point player really for nothing. Well, I guess a third/fourth line center, and people are debating in Toronto if the Leafs are better right now than they were last year. How can that be possible? How can you think your team is better when you lost Marner for Roy? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. Like, it's a simple answer. No, they're not better right now. We'll see what happens. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, Canada's biggest appliance. Sale ends tomorrow. So you got 2 nights. Stop in at The Brick. You can save up to $1,000 when you buy 2 or more select major kitchen appliances. You can get up to the Henley stainless steel refrigerator for only $749. What a steal. Great deal at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1. We've talked Ducks and Sabres on the show today. So I want to ask you this question. Which NHL team do you think will surprise us and make the playoffs next year? And we're not talking just those 2 teams. Any team.
For me, I don't know if it'd be a huge surprise, but I like the way Columbus played in the face of adversity. But I'm not just being sentimental. I think, Werenski really surprised me. What a great year he had. Fantilli's coming on the move, man. He had 30-odd goals. They got that monster, Vornikov or Voronkov, 6'5", 230. A lot of people don't talk about. I mean, this guy's up and coming. He's big, he's strong, and he gets close to a penalty minute a game, which I don't know if it's good or bad these days, but it shows he throws his weight around a little bit at least. I'm excited, and I think they're going to be a good team. I don't know about great, but I think they're going to be a good team for a few years to come.
I'm going to go with the Ducks. I like their makeup of their team. They're going to get Dust out. They're going to get McTavish signed. And if they stay healthy, I think the Ducks are going to surprise people and squeak in the West.
Question number 2. The Blue Jackets, Wild, Preds, Devils, Kraken, Mammoth, and Golden Knights franchises have never produced a 50-goal score. Which team do you think will have one first?
Ooh, that's a good question. The Golden Knights don't have anybody on their team right now that I see as like Eichel, Marner. They're not 50-goal guys. The Kraken, no. The Devils, Preds. Well, I'm going to go with the Wild. Kaprizov would be my first guess, but then I'm going to go with TR's Blue Jackets. They got some guys who could surprise, but I will go with Minnesota because of Kirill the Thrill.
Yeah, I think he's right there. And I think 40-odd goals a couple times. Last year, he missed a lot of time. I think the most glaring person on that list is Kirill Kaprizov, so I'm going to say the Wild.
All right. Question number 3. The New York Jets made Sauce Gardner the highest paid corner in the NFL today with a big extension. Who are your top 3 cornerbacks of all time?
Okay, so again, with my limited knowledge, because I don't know all the greatest stats, especially the far back you go, but I know 3 guys that in my lifetime were entertaining and I think had the stats to back it up. Would be Champ Bailey, and would be Deion Sanders, and I like Richard Sherman. I like the last couple of guys, even though every once in a while they'd rub people the wrong way. I like that they were outgoing, energetic in their interviews. They usually they were good for a soundbite, and I think backed it up with some great play. And I mean, I'll throw in with Deion Sanders. The reason that I even would put him there is because I'm continually blown away by him and Bo Jackson, whose career got cut short. But for these guys to be not only players, but all-stars in both sports is insane in baseball and football. So I like Sanders for that reason. I've always been intrigued.
Yeah, I'm going to go with some different guys. I like your picks. I'm going to go Rod Woodson. I thought he was obviously unreal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I will go with Charles Woodson. But also, I'm going to go back in time a little bit. Connor and Declan, I would hope they know this guy's name. Dick Night Train Lane. 14 picks his first season. Unbelievable. Then he had 10 the year. Like, this guy was phenomenal. So I'm going, and, he was the original Night Train. Sorry, Struddy. We are going to have the Night Train on later, but I'm going to ask him if he knows who Dick Lane is, because if he doesn't, that's embarrassing. But he was phenomenal, man. I think 6, 7, 8-time Pro Bowler, hell of a player.
Question number 4 for you guys. Major League Baseball exploring the possibilities of having players at the games in Los Angeles, Olympic Games, that is. Can you think of any reason why this shouldn't happen?
Not really. You know what? You look at it, now it's during their season, so it'd be similar to the NHL. And you know what? I would be curious. Baseball plays a lot of games, and in a long season, I don't think you shut down your season for 2 weeks for that. Are they going to start earlier? That, to me, that's the only challenge in baseball, because I don't think they can continue. Now, maybe they won't shut down for 2 weeks. Con man, they might just shut down for the time that the baseball tournament's on. Right? I could see that, because baseball plays all the time. So maybe they wouldn't have to shut down for the full 2 weeks, especially when it's in the U.S. But when it's in other countries, you'd have to probably shut down longer. So maybe only 10 days. We'll see. But yeah, I think they should do it. I think it'd be fantastic. Why not?
Yeah, I do. The only question that for me would be the schedule. But I mean, I don't know if it had ever happened, but I would be even open to chopping a couple of games off the schedule if I had to. I think this has been coming for a long time. And it can only help baseball, and I think the players would be all for it. I could be wrong, but that's what I assume. So for me, I'm all for it, and I would embrace the opportunity to watch that.
Final question for you guys today. It is apparently World Youth Skills Day. So is there any skill you guys wish you had picked up as a kid?
Yeah, I wish I'd learned to play guitar. I'm kind of taking lessons now, but earlier in my life probably would have been easier. And the same thing goes for French. I'm taking it now, Duolingo. I took 3 courses recently, and I can write it, but it's really hard to speak. And putting yourself in that environment now is kind of hard to do. So I wish maybe early on I'd paid more attention to French living in Canada.
Oh, TR, the next time you come to Edmonton, we'll just talk French over dinner. Okay? No problem. I can do it. We'll practice it up for you. That'll be fun.
I did not know you knew French.
Oh, oui, j'ai gradué école GH Picard. So there you go. Yes. A skill that I would like that I've done. Yeah, definitely a musical instrument. There's no question. But honestly, the other skill I think I would have liked to do as a kid that I just think would be beneficial to me now later on in life was I wish I would have, done like more, like home stuff. I did a lot of farm work outside. I didn't do a lot of stuff inside. So I don't really have the patience for it. Right. Like I've been doing some plumbing around the house and everything like that, but I think I would have picked up little things and maybe done more of that inside the house. Like I'm going to do a lot of stuff outside, but not necessarily inside. Just find it.
For me, I'm going piano. I wish that was something I could have picked up. I think it's so cool when people can just start playing piano at a party, or they got the piano set up at like random parts around the city.
Yeah.
It's always awesome. So piano for me, I wish I would have learned.
Dude,
My wife didn't. She didn't like it.
Oh.
I'm like, you should have kept going.
I took piano lessons and I was decent at it, but it was just kind of, sitting still. I was a very active kid, and looking back on it now, I wish I would have I've thought long and hard about going and getting a baby grand piano, because I look online and I've seen places that have them and you can get really good deals on them. And I would just want to play it for myself. I wouldn't want to go really play for anybody else. I'm not going to walk in the mall and suddenly start tickling the ivories there. But it is something that that's easily the biggest regret I have, was giving up on piano when I was probably, I don't know, 11 or 12. I was like, I'm done, right? Any parent will know you can't force your kids to stick in, because to be honest, I used to sometimes skip my piano lessons. I'd tell my parents I was going and they just wouldn't go. So, that is one that I wish, if I could have a do-over, that would be it. Because, piano is awesome, man. Like guitar, great, for sure. I get it, you can pick up a guitar, people sit around the campfire, whatever, they like it. But I don't want to play for anybody else. I just want to play it for myself. I found it's very relaxing to play the piano. And as you get older now, there's lots of cool songs you could play on the piano. So never too old to try. If TR's learning French, maybe I should follow suit and I should go get my piano. TR, you might have motivated me to finally just get off the the old bleeper, get off the pot. I think I might have to do that for the piano. Just go do it.
Well, remember you said this, 1 year from now, we'll check back at how far I am in French and you are on piano.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have to go get the piano first, but this might make me start looking a little bit more serious on purchasing one. So I like it. TR, it's good to have you in for the full 2 hours. We'd love it. Have yourself a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll chat with you on jeudi. TR, jeudi.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Edmonton. See you guys in a couple of days.
There you go. That's Terry. We're going to have to work on TR. Maybe we'll do a segment in French just for TR. We'll see. God, I'd have to bone up too, man. You can, I can speak this, and listen to someone talking French, but then I got to answer. You're searching for words a little bit. There's no doubt about that. 453. We got a lot of text line in 833-401-1440. Hey guys, easily as a kid, I would have learned martial arts. Good answer, Greg. That's a very good answer. You could see how, just come in beneficial for you. It teaches you discipline, teaches you mobility, flexibility, strength. There is lots of benefits for learning a martial art. Connor, did you ever take any martial arts class?
No, I didn't. But I would like to put Benny in it one day. One type. I don't know exactly what the best would be, but I agree with you totally. I've got some nephews and nieces that take part in it, and they've learned some good lessons already.
Oh God, yeah. No, I think it teaches you a lot about self-discipline and stuff like that, which I think is great. And I think it builds you some confidence to know that if push comes to shove, I at least know how to handle myself. And I think that could be hugely beneficial. No question about it. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. AC conks out late tonight or on the weekend, call Legacy. No overtime charges. I'll tell you about the Legacy at legacyheating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Joe Thornton has officially rejoined the San Jose Sharks as a player development coach and hockey operations advisor. Thornton has skated with the Sharks in recent seasons, but was not part of the team in an official capacity. His hiring comes just 1 month after he was named to the 2025 Hockey Hall of Fame class. Edmonton Oil Kings forward Miroslav Holinka signing a 3-year entry-level deal with the Maple Leafs, who selected him in the 5th round of the 2024 draft. He had 19 goals this past season in 47 games. And Major League Baseball's Midsummer Classic goes tonight from Atlanta. First pitch set for just after 6 o'clock. The New York Jets have signed cornerback Sauce Gardner to a 4-year contract worth $120 million, making him the league's highest paid corner. And the Chiefs, they're doing the same with right guard Trey Smith, 4 years, $94 million, 70 of which is guaranteed, making him the highest paid interior lineman in league history. WNBA action tonight. Fever in Boston taking on the Sun at 6. Then at 8, you got the Sparks hosting the Mystics. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Jason Strudwick, former NHLer. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
So you're dying from the heat, sweat dripping on your sheets. You want to cool it down, but your AC can't compete. So you fall upon your knees and cry out, oh please, I need a cooling breeze. Send me Legacy's AC Repairman. Legacy's AC Repairman. AC Repairman. Can't spell Legacy without AC. Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken ACs. So if you got one, call Legacy. Okay, see you later. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The Hoop City 3x3 Festival takes over the Ice Palace at West Edmonton Mall from July 31st to August 3rd. See professionals and Olympians battle for ranking points and cash prizes in 3 different FIBA 3x3 events. Free admission. Details at sports1440.ca.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
B2 Gold needs mill operators for their new Nunavut mine. Earn $110,000 to $130,000 with a fly-in, fly-out rotation and paid benefits. Get in on the ground floor of a brand new operation. Visit the B2 Gold Job Fair, July 17th and 18th at the Terrace Office Tower in Edmonton.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
B2 Gold needs mill operators for their new Nunavut mine. Earn $110,000 to $130,000 with a fly-in, fly-out rotation and paid benefits. Get in on the ground floor of a brand new operation. Visit the B2 Gold Job Fair, July 17th and 18th at the Terrace Office Tower in Edmonton.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Did you wake up this morning and think, I want to be a used RV salesman? If you're like most people, the answer is no. But if you want to sell your quality used RV yourself, then a used RV salesman is what you are.
Welcome to your new job.
That's right, Bob. Put it up on all the best websites. Wait for the phone to ring and be ready day or night, weekday or weekend. Drive out to the storage lot for every random tire kicker who calls and hope that what you have is exactly what they want.
There's an easier way to do this, Rick.
That's right, Bob. You could bring it to No Bull RV. We love selling used RVs, and the customers are already here. Commercials like this, bring them in by the hundreds. All you need to do is cash the check when it leaves our lot. Used RV salesman is not what you wanted to be when you woke up this morning. And if it was, well, I think you better come out here and apply for a job.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock on a lovely Tuesday afternoon. We're at the midway point of July already. Man, summer's flying by. Whoa, pump the brakes, summer. Let's slow down here a little bit. Might have to start talking slower through summer. We want your summer to stretch out. I know hockey fans, you feel like you're like, what? I mean, it's July 15th. Kidding me? Kids in school are like, what? I go back to school in 6 weeks? No. Let's slow it down a little bit if we can. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. You know what could slow it down for you? Win the Lotto Max tonight, $19 million. All of a sudden, you'd be like, work? It's been a slice maybe. Although depending on what you do, you might not want to instantly retire. Or maybe just do what you want. You could not retire, but you could just work as a contractor for whatever. I would just make up a title. Whatever. Fine. I'm going to work once a month. That would be great. That would slow things down a bit for sure. PlayAlberta.ca. Get your tickets for Lotto Max tonight. As we go to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. And speaking of slowing down, be sure to slow down through construction zones. They really appreciate it. They want to get home to the barbecue, maybe sit on the deck just as comfortably as you do. That's GS Construction. As Mark Spector likely joins us from a deck out at his cabin at the lake. Spec, how you doing?
Oh, I've never been better, man. It's a beautiful day. Listen to Scotty Scheffler today. Did you hear that stuff?
I did hear it. It was what's funny? We're actually, I was just talking to Declan and Connor about that. I'm like, I want to get that and play it to our audience. It was because it's funny about what we talked yesterday about, you got to have a little enjoyment in life. Like and for anybody, we'll give you the Coles notes. Basically, Scheffler was talking about how, like he won the big tournament. It was in his, like right near home. And he's like, oh my God, like this means so much to me, the Byron Nelson. And he goes, but then it's over and you hug your parents and your sister's there. And like a minute later, they're like, well, we going for dinner, like you don't, it doesn't seem to be as long lasting as you would like.
No, I think it's a bit of a metaphor for all of us, like in life. You have these dreams or these things you want to do and what you'd like to accomplish. I mean, I grew up, I love to be a sports writer, like what a goal of my life and you in the business. And then you get here and you're immediately, you're working on your job and you're trying to get better and you're hoping for the next job and you start with a high school beat. You want to move up. We don't stop in our lives and kind of smell the roses very long, do we? I think that's what I got out of Scotty Scheffler's thing. He wins the majors. It lasts 3 minutes, and they say, "Well, you won a major. What are you doing next week?" It's like, well, wait a second. Like, I've been working years for this. Can't we enjoy this for more than 5 minutes? And I think all of us are like that in our own professions and our own. You got to stop, man. You got to hit the brakes sometimes and look around you and see what you got and appreciate it, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like it is. Showing gratitude and just appreciation for what you've done or what you have, I think is vital. And probably a lot of us are guilty of not doing it as frequently as we should. And so yes. I really liked, how he worded it. And It wasn't complaining about it. He was just saying how, maybe overall, like, and really in North America, I think in other countries, but North America especially, like the rat race is legit. It is, and you can try to avoid it, but it's hard. It's really difficult. And like, I know people when they get retired, they think, oh, this is going to be great. And after, 3 months of retirement, they're going stir crazy because they don't know what to do. So like and then you look at our social media now, and they've done all the studies for kids and how, they got all, do you see all these shorts because they don't have the brain capacity. It's rewiring their brain to be like, you need to be just a quick dopamine all the time. I need to be entertained. Right. Like, right. Like kids, you say, I'm bored. And the parents will be like, yeah, well, figure it out. And it's actually good for us to be bored in a smaller way. In Scheffler's case, it's like, you should be able to slow down and be like, you know what? I just won. I'm taking a few weeks off here, man. I'm going to really relish this.
Yeah. Like give the Florida Panthers credit. So one thing about the Stanley Cup, it is a lifetime dream, and guys who win it don't just celebrate for 10 minutes and go to dinner. Right. One thing about the Stanley Cup, man, you win that thing. And it's a, first of all, it's a week of partying in whatever town you're in with all your buddies, which is awesome. And then you get away from it a little bit and dry out. And then eventually your day with the cup comes, and then you have another celebration with your family. And it's I kind of like that. I feel like guys who, if the Oilers are fortunate enough to ever get that cup, it won't be 5 minutes for a Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl, right? I think they'll get their time with it.
Yeah, well, they should.
Good.
And not third time, and then maybe you got a few buddies who live close, and then you go to a few of your teammates' day with the cup as well, and that makes it that makes it more enjoyable. You're like, you don't go there to ruin it; you just go there to kind of embrace it and see how everybody else is happy because. You know what it feels like to have that day. So I think that's because I've talked to, Colton Parayko and a few other local guys who have won it. And you know what? I know Parayko had it at the Glendale because a few of my friends were members and he was having his party at the Glendale golf course.
Yeah.
And some of these guys, they got off the course and one of them, knew somebody in, and Colton Parayko's like, oh, just come on in, guys. And they're like, nah, man, we don't really. He's like, are you kidding me? You want to see the cup? And they're all just like, some of these guys played junior or whatever, but a lot of them played hockey. And they're like, what? And like, he just invited him in. He's like, embrace it, enjoy it. And they had the time of their life. They knew lots of other people in the room, but they didn't know Colton specifically. Knows who Colton is. He was just like, he saw these, come on in, man. Like, the more the merrier. And, to see everybody happy about it, because there are lots of people. Like, the cup means a lot to some people. Like, you see grown men and other people like shed a tear when they get the cup in front of them.
Oh, come on. It's a Canadian, it's like, I think in Canada, there's the Red Maple Leaf and then there's the Stanley Cup. Like, what's in third place for national iconic, things, right? I'm not sure what's in third place, but I know what's in first and second. And you know what? That just speaks to Colton Parayko. Anyone out there who has had a chance to meet him would, he's just the nicest guy you ever met, man. He is awesome guy. Helped us at Sports Central for years and years. First class guy. And there you go. You want to see the Stanley Cup? Get in here and get your picture taken with it, man. This is your shot.
Yeah, and he didn't say like just come in for a few minutes. Like, he invited him in to stay. Right. And then, he had a tab and everything. So it was just like,
that's awesome.
Average show guys are just like time of their life. So they had a great time. And that really is anybody who's met Colton Parayko. He is.
I'm still never going to, I can't touch the cup because then I'll never win it. Right.
Oh yeah. You're one of those. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I would never touch. To me, it's, like you go to the Hockey Hall of Fame and people get their pictures taken with it and everybody's different. It's no problem. But yeah, I think it's a big honor for those who win it now you might stand and touch it, but to lift it, I kind of be like, now if you're a parent and your kid wins it, that's
different.
That's different, right?
That's different.
Siblings,
I don't think I could ever, as much as I'd love to lift the Stanley Cup over my head and have that picture taken, I don't feel like I have the right to. I don't feel like, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe a guy would, but either way, just the fact we have this conversation, like the Stanley Cup as a piece of hardware in our country and our culture, I'll tell you what, it's a well-known thing and everybody has their feelings about it and we talk about it and everybody knows who Phil Pritchard is. And
do you know how long Phil has been the keeper of the cup?
oh, geez, I don't know. I've been doing this for 35 years, and he's been around for sure 30 of them. So a long time, time.
Yeah.
So long that his haircut comes out of 1980.
Oh, God. Well, like there's a guy who could write a book
about
like where he's gone with that cup and what he's seen. It would be a read that would be unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think people would you'd be a hockey fan. You would just want to read it because the team you cheer for, there'd be somebody in the book, about this team or that team, and they'd wanted it. I know some, I guess, sorry, Canuck fans, maybe not you, but they're saying, but the majority of fans, their team had won it at one point, so they could kind of feel like, okay, I understand it. I want to read this chapter because, in case of like the Oilers, they'd be like, hey, I wanted what did Messier do with it? Blah, blah, blah. And then, if this team of Oilers who have been ultra close a few times, if they ever win it, that might be something worthwhile to follow. Because to me, it would be a book that would interest a lot of people.
Well, he'd have to tell some stories out of school. Like, I don't want to read that book until Phil's retired from the NHL and can say what he could tell the stories because, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that's happened. In fact, the fact that we're talking about Phil Pritchard is because they used to just give guys the cup and walk away. And that turned out to be a bad idea. I mean, there was, strippers, and there was pools, and there was wicked parties. And I think the NHL said, okay, hang on here. Like, we got to watch over this cup a little bit. This is kind of our brand. So Phil came along, and he's charged with making sure that people only go so far with the cup, right? And that's probably a good idea in the end.
Well, especially you get a little bit, people could lose the cup, right?
Oh my God.
Hey, I know that it's being misplaced, right? I remember when the Golden Bears, they won that they left it at, I think it was Club Malibu on White Avenue. So
it
that
was
right. So hey, I think Specs got it. No, I think Connor's got it. And then you wake up in the morning, who's got it? No one. But it was, it was where you left it. Usually you retrace your steps, and
they found it.
They did find it. That is. So I'd like to know. I might have to talk to a few of the Bear, find out
whatever happened with that cup that day.
Who was who is the guilty party? Who
didn't they have to go back through some Club Malibu security footage to find it?
Oh yeah, they might have. Yeah.
Oh my God, there you go. You want to read a book? Go watch 10 years of Club Malibu security footage. You get a book out of that, pal.
Oh, dude. Hey, I've had the pleasure of watching some of On the Rocks footage.
Oh my goodness.
It is honestly, buddy, it's like you want to see reality TV. That's reality TV. Lots of times there's nothing bad. There's just some funny things, but because people will say something happened to them, and then they're like, "Oh, let me check the footage," and away you go. They get the footage, and all of a sudden, what you thought happened did not happen. As they say, the video never lies.
It sounds like one of my columns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the video never lies. Spec, you didn't write that. What? Oh, geez, I
guess I did write that.
Hey, did you watch the home run derby last night? And
a good chunk of it.
Yeah. In an ideal world, would you like to have seen a swing off instead of the measure off by inches on the home runs there?
Yeah, I would have for sure. I'd rather see like let's go pitch for pitch, man. You get one, he gets one.
Oh, just sudden death. Okay, yeah.
For sure. Let's do I get it. They're out of swings. I mean, those guys been swinging all night long. But yeah, I would have liked to seen a swing off, man. Or maybe you get my pitcher and I get your pitcher and we each get 5 or something like that. How about that?
Oh, well, that'd be unique. But man, Connor Halley, what a story for him. And just this, it's like a Cinderella story. Like we've never, you look at how many home runs he's had at the All-Star break, and I know it's a week later, but still. Then you look at no catcher has ever won it. He's a catcher and a switch hitter. Like the guy he's having just a remarkable season. And the thing I love about it is, we started talking about Scotty Scheffler, like Cal Halley, like his dad's pitching to him, his younger brother's the back catcher. Like when you talk to him, like he really seems to be enjoying this whole year. And like, if you look at his numbers, like this is not just obviously he's had an unreal year, but he has gotten better every year. And now in year 4, he's a legit all-star, and not just an all-star catcher. He could easily be one of the favorites for MVP. Like, he's having a remarkable season.
Well, and he wasn't like a bonus baby high draft pick guy.
No, third rounder. Third round.
Okay. So, baseball's a good sport that way. Like, there's almost nobody, it's like hockey. The best guys, they start in the NHL, right? The first overall pick, he's playing the NHL. It's not like that in baseball. There's such a long road to get up to. You got to get through all the levels. You have to, like, when a guy like Cal Raleigh emerges and gets to the big leagues and he shows up and they go, yeah, he's a catcher, he might be okay, and he works in his game and he's craft, and being a catcher there's so much more to it than you going to the plate. You're working your pitcher, you're calling pitches. Like, there's a lot going on in Cal Raleigh's world every night for him to walk up to the plate and hit a home run all the time. I think it's just cool. It's sort of innate to baseball, right? It's a long road to be Cal Raleigh to get there, the big dumper.
Yeah.
And, he comes out of the minors, he shows up, they're not sure what they got, and the next minute, he's winning the home run derby, and he's a regular cat. Like, he seems like just a regular guy. So it's a really nice story.
Yeah, it is. And it's exciting. It's fun to watch. The All-Star game in baseball, I think most of us agree it is the best All-Star game because it's a non-contact sport. So the players can go all out. The pitchers are throwing gas. The swingers are swinging for the fences. So that's what makes it entertaining. Now, the thing that doesn't make it entertaining is how the American League has absolutely owned this for a long, long time.
Yeah, how is that? Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
I saw the stat too, and it's not like the National League's got all the good players. Like, how does this work? You'd think that, I don't know.
Connie's not a bad player. Like, they got some good players, but no, they're getting schooled right now.
They are. I got nothing for you in terms of why it happens. Like, it's not a DH, not DH thing. It's not a pitching thing. All the good pitching isn't in one league here. So I don't know. I honestly don't know how one team can win. So what's the record? They've won like 9 in a row or something.
Oh yeah. I don't know if it's that much, but yeah, it's quite. It's a strat. It might be 8, but I don't.
They're
know.
crushing them anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been. It's been, and it's not just like it's been domination for a while. So I look at it. I'm gonna just pull it up as we're speaking here, and I'm going back. You look at the National League actually won in 23, but the American League has won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 of the last 11.
Is that it? So
yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. The NL did manage a win in 2023. So
no, it is. You know what? Like, it's refreshing, the baseball All-Star game, for a couple reasons. There's nothing going on tonight in the world of sport, for one. Right? If you want to turn your TV on tonight, there is one thing to watch, unless you're into what are we calling it, the D League or whatever that's going on in NBA is happening. But this is it. This is the big league game going on, and we've always, there's been some great memories in All-Star games in baseball. Like, it matters. It's not like the hockey where we try to reshape this hockey All-Star game every year. It still sucks. NFL, forget about it. NBA is just a bunch of guys shooting 3-pointers. This is the only All-Star game that you can find a moment, a memorable moment. Dave Parker throwing it from right field to Gary Carter to get some guy coming home, Pete Rose running over a catcher from Texas, Randy Johnson striking people out. Like, there's moments in this game. If you watch it, you can get rewarded. Whereas I'm not sure that's ever going to happen. You could watch 15 NHL All-Star games. I'm not sure in the end you'd remember one moment from any of them, would you?
No, I still remember as a kid though, Gretzky getting the hat trick in '83. That's four goals in the third period.
Yes, I remember that.
Like that part of it is like,
it's only 22 years ago, or 42 years ago.
40 some years ago. I remember the Owen Nolan pointing, going down. I think it was on Hasek, and he pointed, and then he goes top shelf, and so that was kind of fun thing. But like the game, it's just, I don't expect the NHL game to be great because it's the way the sport is. Like, I don't expect guys to pound that.
Doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No,
baseball works because it starts with a pitcher. the pitcher's throwing gas, so the hitter's got to swing hard if he's going to hit it. And if he's going to swing hard, the fielder's got to be ready for a bullet. And if he gets a bullet, he's got to throw it like it's still baseball. It's a real baseball game. It's not some 3/4 version of a baseball game the way it is in all the other sports. That's why it works.
Yeah, no, 100%. Spec, have yourself a great evening. We will chat with you again tomorrow.
Hey, sounds good, Jay.
There you go. That's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. When we return, Jason Strudwick will join us. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in today. Get your tickets for Lotto Max $19 million. PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Canada's biggest appliance sale is at the Brick. Get up to $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Convertible fridge freezers start at just $199. Barbecue start at just $299. Get up to 60% off clearance models and below-cost scratch and dent items in-store only. Plus, pay 0% interest on appliances until 2029. Best of all, they'll beat any competitor's advertised price. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The dog days of summer means baseball. Every weekend, Sports 1440 carries Toronto Blue Jays ball games. Ben Shulman will have the call. Grab a cold one and tune in this weekend to Blue Jays baseball on Sports 1440.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Imagine a family get-together where the smiles are as genuine as the conversations. That's the feeling you get at Nisku Ford, a family-owned dealership where finding a new Ford feels just like catching up with old friends.
Make sure to swing by Nisku Ford in July to take advantage of rates as low as 0%, or choose rebates as high as $6,000 on 2025 models.
The coffee's on, so drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
523, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger along for the afternoon drive home. Make your way home safe and sound. Enjoy tonight somewhere. It's Taco Tuesday. That's all I know. OTR will have it. So check it out. Go say hi to Dr. Wang. He'll give you some of his top 5 videos that he's watched at OTR. His late day footage would be funny. Let's talk a little NHL as we go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's. Stop in right now. Do you want to try some flavors from across the world? Well, you can right now because McDonald's international menu is here. So if you want to try food from Germany, Japan, stop in. They got it only at McDonald's. As Jason Strudwick, former NHLer, of course, co-host of Got Your Back podcast, also has his own show. Joins us now. Struddy, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you making out, buddy?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. Were you chuckling when they actually asked you if Toronto's team is better this year than last year? Like, they lost a 100-point player. How the hell are they better?
Yeah, you know what? It's a funny thing because I think everyone knew it probably had to happen, just the way it happened. Like they should have traded Marner at least, one of them a year, maybe him or Nylander a year or two ago, and got something back that they could hold on to. So they get Nick Waugh, who, I think a serviceable bottom six player, a guy that can maybe moonlight up a little bit. Scotty Larden, who they got last year, didn't work out. I expect him to be better, but is John Tavares going to score 40 goals again this year? That's where I have a hard time. And then their D, they're not the most puck moving group of D around, right? They're trying to be robust and hard, and I get that, but you need guys to move the puck up. And if you go back and watch the Oilers against in the playoffs, when Klingberg started going and Bouchard and Wallman, these guys all started moving the puck. That's when the Oilers kind of got their offense going.
Yeah. You look at now, speaking of Toronto, they had a goal power play coach for 1 year. McFarland came in. He was hired by Babcock. Babcock got fired, but McFarland stayed on that year, and the power play improved quite a bit. Now, the new coach then came in and got his own guy, which happens. McFarland, when he went into Florida for a few years, they had success on the power play. The rest of the areas weren't good, but he's had success on the power play, Struds. We'll start there. How much different do you think he can do, to just kind of keep the power play fresh, and more so maybe, look at helping out the second unit?
Well, first off, how do you think he feels when he walks into a group that has been, one of the best for the last whatever many years, half dozen years, whatever it is? So he can only get it worse, right? It can't get better. It's already been great. So now he's got to get in there. And I think that Gullickson was obviously, what he did was good, and those guys have a feeling what they want to do, but maybe a fresh set of eyes wouldn't be the worst thing. Maybe he can tweak things a little bit and move it. Not that Gullickson didn't have that ability, but someone who from the outside has been watching this power play, I'm sure where he was stationed, he would try to steal things from this power play. So he's seen it, he's looked at it. So he may have some new ideas to what they can do. But I've been saying this for a while. They've got to get 2 power play units going. And it's not that the first power play isn't as good. It's that second group isn't getting their beaks wet. They're not getting involved in the game. They're not scoring. They're not able to find it. You have to let guys on that second unit find some meaningful power play time so they can get points as well. It's important for them and for the team. So can the coaching staff not convince, but can they get that top unit on board and say, we might pull your minutes down a bit to get you a bit of rest and then give these guys more chance to score. So McFarland's got his hands full, does have a history of running power plays in the NHL, but this is a really good one. They had good players but to step in there and sit down in front of Connor, Leon, Bouchard, Nuge, and Hyman. Okay, guys, I got a new idea. I'm sorry, we've been doing the same thing for years. Well, we're here. We're going to try something new.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny, though? I think, I talked to Glenn. It's funny because I talked to Glenn Gullickson about that, and he said those guys are big on communication. All he said was, if you come to them with an idea, they're open for it, but it can't be a lame idea. Right?
Yeah,
and he talked to me. He told me, remember the play against LA in Game 3, off the face-off, where they had Bouchard come in, and so that was a play that Gullickson saw, and then they talked, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to do it." But originally, and then Draisaitl said, "Well, let me carry it." And then he was the one who made the play to Bouchard, right? And Bouchard dropped it to Draisaitl, and then he just kept going, and then Draisaitl hit him. And that was a play that literally they had seen, right? Gullickson talked, but then they discussed it in the room, and then one guy's like, well, hey, Draisaitl, because originally he wasn't going to be the guy being the passer, right? But they changed it up, and obviously it worked very well. And so I think when you've had as much success as they've had, if you can come up with an idea they haven't thought of, Struddy, well, now all of a sudden you've got their attention.
Well, and that's the challenge. You just said it. Find something they haven't thought of. I mean, these are ultra offensive, creative, smart, hockey sense off the charts players. So are you going to come in and find something that they haven't thought of or tried or done? And I think that's where I go back to that piece about being a little bit, intimidated or uncomfortable. It's not easy to think of something new. So, I have a hard time believing they'd move people out of their positions they have currently, because I think they're all ideally suited for what they're doing. But out of that setup, can they find a new way to do things? Can they find a way to incorporate different plays, or guys maybe moving a little bit more? And that's the challenge for McFarland, because they have been together a long time. They have been doing really well on it. But it's not like it's a new group of players. You're just going to be like, oh, let's just do this, because they haven't. They've been together in so long. So this to me is the most interesting hire and what he can bring to the power play.
Jason Strudwick joins us. Then you look at Mark Stewart and the penalty kill. 2024, unbelievable. Like the playoffs wasn't. It's not going to be repeatable. To be -1 in 25 games on the penalty kill. Like that is, I don't care. You find a 25 game stretch in the regular season. No one's ever -1. You look at the orders, and then they went from that to being the second worst all time of any team who's played 10 games in playoffs. Only the 2021 Islanders out of 489 teams was worse. So they're going to change some things. They lost some personnel, Struddy, and no one can tell me that Desharnais, Ceci, and Ekholm were in a huge loss in the playoffs. It can't just be the structure of the system, but they are going to try to tweak some things. What do you make of Stewart, and what would be some things you'd look at to change or tighten up on the penalty kill for next year?
Well, you nailed it with the fact that Ekholm coming back would be huge. He's a big penalty killer, right? He understands what they're doing. And then I think they have lost a few bodies. They got to find a way to get new people in there. And I think getting that size and speed back is pretty important as well. Now, I think they're talking about, Knobloch was talking about trying to get, the young guys, Savoy and Howard, on either a power play or penalty kill. Mm-hmm. And I think we probably pretty clear which one is going on which. But Savoy is not the longest guy, and he's quick and he's fast, but he's not the longest guy. So again, you don't take up as much space, and just getting in the way makes a big deal. You think about Vegas when they're winning Stanley Cups. Their 16 weren't exactly rocket ships, but man, they took up a lot of space, and it got in the way, and you're knocking pucks down or hits you, clips you, whatever. So I would suspect that they'll find a way to try to get the group together. But the big thing is some continuity would be really huge. And I'm talking probably more 5-on-5 here than 5-on-4. But try to get some pairings together that you're going to leave together for a little bit, give them a chance to go. Because, when Wallman came, it was pretty much, although Ekholm got hurt, but it was Ekholm, Bouchard, and everyone was playing with everyone. Can they find a little bit of continuity somewhere on that back end? And then is it, do you throw Wallman beside Nurse, or then Kulak gets whomever, or is it Kulak on the right side? Like, those are all things I think that Kulak or Stewart's had a front row seat for that all year. Well, for 2 years, really. And so what does he do to make it his own, to change things, to make it a little bit more stable back there?
Yeah, I think it will be kind of fascinating. Were you surprised at all that they kind of went down one coach on the bench? Because Coffey's not coming back. The goalie coach is on the bench. So they're just going to have 3. I don't think it's a big deal, Struddy, but you were on NHL benches. Like, you need 4 coaches?
It seemed crowded. Crowded. And I think the reason they had Mark Stewart down there is because they were grooming him to be a bench coach, at some point. And it's hard to get that feeling of the bench when you're up above with the earpiece in your ear, you're yelling down or barking down instructions. So I think that maybe all along they knew at some point Paul Coffey was going to step aside, and the plan was for Mark Stewart to move in. So he needed to get that bench feel. But I'll tell you this, I liked it 1, 2, 3. You need the head coach in the middle. You have the guy running the forwards, and then the guy running the D. And then at times the head coach would come over the top and kind of say, no, I want this guy, or I want this group, or whatever. But otherwise, forward just feels really, really crowded and busy on the bench. So I think there was a plan, and now the plan is to have 3 like most teams do.
Yeah. And that makes sense to me. I don't think it's a huge thing, especially because Coffey wasn't, and I talked to Paul about it. Like, he didn't do a ton of video work. There was a little bit, but not a ton. He did more of coaching in game. Now a lot of players today, they like the video coaching. Now it all depends. You've talked about it, Struddy. It all depends how it's presented and in how much you can die by having video, right? Like, I think you had too much video, you said, at times in your career. So you got to strike that right balance, correct?
There are some sessions that would have been shorter to watch all 3 Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, than the video we were watching of the coach that dragged out all these different shows or all these different plays. So, I think when you're going over video, especially with the group, less is more. There's a play you want to do, show it a couple times. A play you don't want us to do, show it a couple times. We don't need 20 clips of the same thing. If that's the case, then maybe your coaching is not working, or the players you have aren't thinking. On a one-on-one basis, I'd be more willing to go over it one-on-one over more clips. Like if you want to show me 10 clips as a one-on-one, yeah, let's have that, because they're all relative to me. When you're showing 20 clips to a group, it might be one for each player, but you're losing me. After a certain number of clips, I'm gone. I'm not listening anymore. I know people, oh, they're professional athletes. Yeah, well, I'm sure some of you listened to been in meetings before where you've checked out in the first 5 minutes. So I think that it depends on how many people are in that room. And I think that coaches are starting to figure that out, whereas before it was long. It was like trilogy long of the number of clips we watched.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That I'm sure you're just like, okay. And the other thing is, Struddy, like you play, and at NHL players, there's only so much information you can give them, right? So then I think, and you coach a lot of young kids. I think, I went to a coaching clinic. And they said the biggest mistake coaches make at minor hockey level is they overcoach kids and they give them too much information before a game. And now the kid's completely rattled. Doesn't know, he's thinking about 10 different things.
I had Tom Randy a couple times as a coach, and I liked that he put 3 things on the board and he'd beat the hell out of those 3 things. Okay. And so you're looking for your 3 biggest issues you want to do tonight. So maybe one is, let's be physical. This is NHL, obviously. Or number 2 might be, D-men get back to the puck quick. And then forwards get pucks and bodies to the blue paint. And then you just beat the hell out of those things. Because as a coach, if you do those 3, if your team does those 3 things well, you're probably going to win the game in your mind, if that's what you think the difference is. But I've also been on teams there was like 10 things. I couldn't remember past 5 what it was. And like, what was number 8? Number 8. I don't know what number 4 was. I can't keep track of every single thing. So, and then this is for minor coaches too. Just put 3 things on the wall. And then the big thing is too, you want to make sure that if you're going into a game on Saturday, you have a practice Thursday, work on the things Thursday you want to touch on Saturday. So yeah, for minor hockey, you got to work on your skills and all that stuff. But if you want to have a good forecheck, spend 12 minutes working on your forecheck and really get the details down, the vocabulary. So you and your coaches are all saying the same thing on the bench. Hey, get your feet moving, press the guy against the wall, whatever or stall the guy, whatever it is, make sure you're using the same vocabulary. So in the end of the games, the kids are like, oh yeah, I remember he talked about that on Thursday. I find some coaches don't practice what they want to work on for Saturday in the game Thursday, and then they're yelling at kids to do something they don't even know what they're doing. So pick 3 things, do it in practice, then practice, show it in the game, and then, okay, it worked. 2 of them check the box. Good. Let's find 2 new things. So now we have 3 new things we're working on for the practice, and that's how you keep improving.
Jason Strudwick joins us. Struddy, looking at, the orders, and I want to get your thoughts on their defense core. And Regula, who no one really knows, but I've talked to a lot of people, like he's 24. He's not much older than, it's basically him and Emberson are very similar in age. And then there's the big wild card in Leppinen, but the guy scored 61 points in the Finnish Elite League, set records. Like he's obviously got some skill. What interests you about the D-core and like Emberson, Stetcher, Regula, and maybe the wild card in Leppinen?
Well, I think we know that there's 5 are going to play, right? Those 5, the top 5 are going to play. So now those guys you just highlighted, that's 4 guys fighting for, 82 games times 15 minutes, roughly is what that guy might get, right? Around 12 to 15 minutes, something like that. And I think it's really important for Ty Emberson to come out and have a really good start to the season. I really believe that because we know what Troy Stetcher can do, and he's the steady guy. You know what he's getting, but they always want to keep developing their younger players. Because the other 2, the Finn and then Regula, those to me are massive wild cards. So for those 2 guys, they've got to have really good preseasons. I would treat that preseason to for me, if they're both able to play and they're healthy, I would treat it like it's if I play 4 games, the 4 most important games of my career, because I'm trying to earn a game in the regular season. Then you get that game in the regular season, treat that like the most important game and just keep doing that, because you're trying to build a resume and a case of why you should be on this team or play ahead of the other 2 guys who were there for the run last year. So Stetcher, I think we know what he can bring, but the other 3, Emberson included, we have no idea what they're going to do. So they have to come out and play really, really well from the drop of the first puck in training camp right through to the end. And then that first game, it's going to be so important for those guys to try to make a case for themselves.
Yeah, I think it's hugely important. And this will be the last year, Struddy, of 8 preseason games for the Oilers. Some teams have 6, but the Oilers have 8. And then next year, it's only going to be 4 with a maximum of 2 preseason games for players who play 100 games or more. I think the harsh truth that some people don't really want to see sometimes, Struddy, is there's only 3 or 4 guys that are really on the bubble that can make your team every year outside your regulars. That's just a fact, right? At least, to start it because of contracts and waivers and everything else. So I'm not sold that it's going to be that big of a difference. But what about players only having 2 exhibition games? Is this like music to their ears, or do you think they'll want more?
No, I was, I think I've shared with you before, like 2-3 games, I'm good to go. Like it's because you got to remember everyone's in the same boat. It's not like the Calgary Flames are playing 20 games and we got to play them game 2 and we've only played 1 or 2, right? Like everyone's going to be in the same boat. I think it gives a chance for everyone to make sure, well, one, they get through, training camp healthy, which usually happens. But I am disappointed for that guy who kind of comes out of nowhere and plays well. I know they're few and far between. You made that case, Greg, but building a case for yourself to get into the lineup game 1, it's hard to do in 60 minutes. 120, maybe you can do it. But it's really hard to make that happen. So for these young guys now, I think it just, young players trying to get make a name for themselves, the practice now becomes even more important in training camp because you're trying to let people know and show them what you can do. Let's say you're, like I was a 3rd rounder, you come in, no one really, we got this guy. What's his name? Jason Strudwick or the Turdwick. No one really cares. They're looking at their 1st and 2nd rounders. So now you got to come in and you got to let everyone know that not just the team, the GM and the coaches, you got to let the players know what you're like, that you can play because players talk. Oh, geez, who's this guy? Who's this guy coming in here and doing this or that? So, easing your way into a training camp to me is never a good idea because you're not making a name. Now, if you're a veteran, ease your way in. But if you're a guy with a very small amount of NHL games or none, you've got to build something for you so other people know who you are. And that's a short, 120 minutes. And in that 120, you might only get 20 minutes total. That's pretty hard to make a case, but now you got to, and everyone's got to make that case for themselves.
Yeah, no, very true. I think it was Strudmark was actually the name of
the no, they didn't. No. Stud. I think it was Stud.
Oh, it's one of the greatest nicknames ever. Oh, God, I love it. Struddy, have yourself a great Tuesday. Maybe we'll see you bright and early tomorrow for some mall walking.
But I was impressed. Greg's and I ran to each other at the mall the other day, and this guy comes flying in like he was being chased by the devil. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, it's just jogging and mall walking. I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. And I really respected you had the headband on and the light weights. Although go up from the 2 to 3 pounder. You're ready for it, Greg's.
Yeah. Hey, you weren't supposed to tell that part of the story. Shh, you're ruining it. We'll see you tomorrow, buddy. Have a good one.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. See ya.
It's Jason Strudwick. My son was in a hot camp, just happened to be at West End, and Struddy's boys the same age as mine. Obviously, I didn't know he was in it. And so I come wheeling around, and I just went because drop them off, they're on the ice at 8. And so I'm like, I'm not just going to sit around and wait. So I went for a half an hour because you got to get the 60 minutes. I've got it on the old watch. You want 60 minutes of movement, whether it's working out, biking, walking every day. So minimum. So get it done early. It was great. So pick up the pay. But you know what I smell? Like there's quite a few people that are mall walkers. I'm not a mall walker, but they're like, they got the regular schedule and they're on a mission. They know exactly where they're going. So I respect that. I actually ran into Jack Rutherford. He's 93 years young, and Jack's still sharp as a tack. He's going for a little mall walk and then meeting some of his buddies for coffee. 93 years of age, and he was still wearing his Edmonton Wildcats, being a huge football supporter in Edmonton. So shout out to Jack, man, looking great. 93 years young, going for the walk and the coffee, meeting the buddies. That's unbelievable. It's a great example. Hey, stay healthy, stay moving. There you go. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Discover Days sales event has been extended at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $7,500. Final month extended. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $4,000. Save up to $7,500 on a 2025 demo XC40. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Breaking news, McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza Bites missing in Italy. Big Rosti stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, this just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced. at McDonald's Canada. The International Menu Heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
On the rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
Ready for a career that's literally golden? B2 Gold just poured their first gold bar at the new mine in Nunavut, and you can be part of the foundation. They have 25 open roles for experienced mill operators on a fly-in, fly-out, 3-week on, 3-week off rotation. Start with a base salary of $110,000 to $130,000 with all travel and benefits paid. These roles need to be filled now. Come to the Terrace Office Tower on July 17th and 18th. Email Edmonton Job Fair at b2gold.com to book an appointment. Bring your resume, references, and safety tickets.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30 grand. Some are more, some are less. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their checking account.
Monthly payments are the best way to get the used RV that's right for your family.
That's right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen when I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob. But less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. We got a lot of texts coming in our email inbox, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, boys, there is a book called My Day with the Cup that has some NHL players telling their stories. Well, all right. There you go. Now, was it? I haven't read it. And I wonder, like, how good are the stories? Because the keeper of the cup, he might even have better ones. So we'll see. Hey guys, Jack Rutherford sounds like a great name. That's a man's name. Hey man, 93 years of age. You've seen a lot. Are you kidding me? 93. Doing the quick math, man. You're born in 1932. Think of all the things that you've seen that has changed the technology. Heck, 1932, you're 10 years of age and there's World War II going on, for goodness sakes. Like that is... It's a different time, man. A different time. Heck, in a lot of places in 1932, there wasn't even indoor plumbing yet. Never mind television or technology. There wasn't even indoor plumbing. So, yeah, Jack, anytime you get an opportunity to sit down and talk to somebody, of that age and what they've seen, it's, many of you probably with your grandparents, it's unreal. It's unreal. So that's great. Let's get to a few more texts. 83341. Actually, do we have the Scheffler? Scott, Con, we do. I want people to listen to here's Scotty Scheffler just talking today. Just was asked about winning and everything and what it means.
I think it's kind of funny. I think, I think I said something after the Byron this year about like, it feels like you work your whole life to celebrate winning a tournament for like a few minutes. It only lasts a few minutes, that kind of euphoric feeling. And I like to win the Byron Nelson Championship at home. I literally worked my entire life to become good at golf, to have an opportunity to win that tournament. And you win it, you celebrate, get to hug my family, my sister's there. It's such an amazing moment. And then it's like, okay, now what are we going to eat for dinner? Life goes on. Is it great to be able to win tournaments and to accomplish the things I have in the game of golf? Yeah. I mean, it brings tears to my eyes just to think about, because it's literally worked my entire life to become good at this sport, and to have that kind of sense of accomplishment, I think is a pretty cool feeling. To get to live out your dreams is very special. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not out here to inspire the next generation of golfers. I'm not here to inspire somebody else to be the best player in the world, because what's the point? This is not a fulfilling life. It's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of like the deepest, places of your heart. There's a lot of people that make it to what they thought was going to fulfill them in life, and then you get there and all of a sudden you get to number one in the world, and then they're like, what's the point? And I really do believe that, because what is the point? You're like, why do I want to win this tournament so bad? That's something that I wrestle with on a daily basis. It's like showing up at the Masters every year. It's like, why do I want to win this golf tournament so badly? Why do I want to win the Open Championship so badly? I don't know, because if I win, it's going to be awesome for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to get to the next week and it's going to be like, hey, you won 2 majors this year. How important is it for you to win the FedEx Cup playoffs? And it's just like, we're back here again, So we really do. We work so hard for such little moments. And, I'm kind of a sicko. I love putting in the work. I love being able to practice. I love getting out to live out my dreams. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just don't understand the point, because I don't know if I'm making any sense or not, but am I not? It's just one of those deals. I love the challenge. I love being able to play this game for a living. It's one of the greatest joys of my life, but does it fill the deepest, wants and desires of my heart? Absolutely not.
So interesting, right? And I think it's just a reminder, because I know a lot of people, when you see someone else having success, you're like, oh, I'd love to do that. And there are parts of it that are unbelievable, no question, right? But like anything, there, people that Pavlov's hierarchy, right? There's like 2%. He said when he wrote his book, Aslov, excuse me, not Pavlov, Aslov. When he wrote his book, 2% of people he thinks reach like true satisfaction and fulfillment, and it's hard, right? Because of some people end up, you're on the treadmill and you're chasing and you're chasing and you're chasing. And so, we probably all have to sit down and be like, okay, like what would be true fulfillment? Jeez, we're getting deep on the show. Maybe we'll touch upon that. It's fascinating too. There's sports fulfillment, but then there's other things, of course. But sporting fulfillment, obviously, championship, no brainer. Connor Halley. On behalf of Connor Halley and Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a lovely Tuesday. Enjoy the All-Star game. Hey, maybe you're going to go see a movie. I highly recommend F1. Pretty good flick. Check it out. Let's get to the Command of Sports 1440 update, brought to you by McDonald's. The international menu heist is happening now, featuring Italy's McPizza Bites and Japan's Teriyaki Chicken, Germany's Big Roasty, and Belgium's Biscoff McFlurry. Now in Canada, only for a limited time at McDonald's. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oil Kings forward Miroslav Holenka signed a 3-year entry-level deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs, originally selected by the team in 2024 in the 5th round. He had 19 goals, 26 helpers last season in 47 games played. Major League Baseball's All-Star Game goes tonight in Atlanta. First pitch coming up in about 10 minutes' time. From the NFL, New York Jets signing cornerback Sauce Gardner to a 4-year, $120 million extension, making him the league's highest paid corner, a first-team All-Pro in each of his first 2 seasons. He was also the 2022 Defensive Rookie of the Year, appearing in 15 games last season. And the Kansas City Chiefs reached an agreement with right guard Trey Smith on a 4-year deal worth $94 million, 70 of which is guaranteed, making him the highest-paid interior lineman in league history. And in the WNBA, Fever in Boston, taking on the Sun at 6. Then at 8, you got the Sparks up against the Mystics. Coming up next year on Sports 1440, we've got Fox Sports Radio all night. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with the Kevin Carius Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the